several times in a row. At last, Yunwu cut the head of the blood corpse in half with a big knife in his hand. No, at this time, Cloud Dance just finally a withdraw, directly flew to leave the blood corpse of encirclement. The blood corpses looked at the place where the clouds had just danced. I saw that the ground was originally a whole blood corpse, but at this time has already become a piece of meat, like the market in general, fleshy. Hateful human, the means should be so cruel. A blood corpse stares at a pair of blood-red eyes and looks at Cloud Dance. I wish I could break her into 10,000 pieces. Cruel? Cloud Dance sneers at them and says, if you really want to talk about the cruel means, I'm afraid I can't compare with these blood corpses. Otherwise, how can there be so many rumors about them outside? For this kind of creature, no matter how to deal with all, don't feel cruel. Cloud Dance coldly looked at the blood corpse below, and did not rush to start again. She wanted to see if it was useful. However, if she didn't do it, the other blood corpses couldn't help but pounce on her one by one. I don't know where to take out the weapon. The light of the sword and the shadow of the sword are flashing, as if I want to turn the Cloud Dance into just now. Yunwu's eyes were slightly cold, and he was not afraid to fight them. He waved the ancient martial arts sword in his hand, and directly cut their weapons into pieces in a few moves. How could those inferior weapons compare with Yunwu's weapons? In the twinkle of cold light, Yunwu mercilessly focuses on a target again, and continues to learn the way before, kicking him away directly. Up! Don't let her succeed, one of the leading blood corpses roared. Yes, other blood corpses should arrive one after another and rush to the Cloud Dance directly, driving the speed to the extreme. Yunwu just cut a knife and felt the cold and murderous air coming from the back of her body. Mixed with the bloody smell, it was extremely uncomfortable. She quickly judged the speed of the other party, and left the bloody corpse on her hand. The bloody corpse, as if nothing had happened, was soon protected by the catch-up classmates. He looked up at the clouds on the tree coldly, and the wound was healing slowly. Unexpectedly, you know how to cooperate. Cloud Dance looked at the action of blood corpses, said with a sneer. If you remember correctly, when these blood corpses first appeared, they were all greedy for her, and they wanted to take the credit of their own blood corpses. Even in the beginning, she was dealt with separately. I didn't expect that. Now I know how to work in a team. Was she frightened by her method just now? Don't be too proud. I said you can't kill us. No matter what method you use, you can't kill us. The head's blood corpse says coldly. Although their speed is very fast, but as the lowest level of blood corpse species, they only have fast speed. Climbing trees? Flying? They can't. Now can only watch Cloud Dance stand on the tree and talk to them, but there is no way. But how can Cloud Dance know this? They have to cover it up well. Although Yunwu was surprised that they didn't come up to pursue themselves, he thought they were waiting for their companions to heal. Now Cloud Dance thought, if you continue to use the previous method, it will not only consume your physical strength, but also make your speed slow. If you can have a better method, Cloud Dance thought, then put the line of sight on the body of the blood corpse that she had cut to pieces before. However, under this look, I found that the broken meat on the ground had disappeared. Cloud Dance's heart in incomparable shock, hurriedly toward the previous several ups and downs to stay in the place to see. There is a little bit of broken meat. Sure enough. In the first place, Yunwu saw a very strange scene. The first pieces of meat don't know how to join together to form a small body. Then little by little, the separated body was integrated into the body, just like a human figure made up of building blocks, and the incomplete parts were integrated bit by bit. This scene was so terrifying that Yunwu didn't find the blood corpses. They just surrounded the tree where she stayed, but they didn't mean to attack her. By the time she was back to normal, the blood corpse had recovered and returned to the team. How could? Cloud Dance shocked whispers. Well, as I said, you don't want to kill us. Broken bodies? It's impossible. The head of a blood corpse said. It seems as if the silence just now is just to make Yunwu realize their toughness, and deliberately show the process of recovery in front of Yunwu. Yunwu's face sank, and he looked down at the blood corpses, his eyes flashing. I'm not afraid of dismembering. What are these bloody corpses afraid of? Ha ha ha, boss. Do you think she was stunned? I can't speak anymore. Ha ha ha. You want to kill us? If we are so easy to kill, How can those human beings never come back? That's right, that's right. The blood corpses laugh around the tree. They look at the clouds with deep banter, but they never come forward to do it. Yunwu's eyes are slightly heavy and his mind is spinning fast. Eyes looked around, suddenly saw a black body fell to the ground in the distance. Already unable to move, there was a black flame jumping on the body. The burned part turned black, but did not recover at all. Cloud Dance's eyes bright. Are these blood corpses afraid of fire? On the ancient sword, the black flame loomed with a strange light. No matter they're afraid of fire, they have to try, don't they? With this in mind, Yunwu directly flew down into the blood corpse group. Hand up, knife down. Quickly in a blood corpse cut a knife. In order to verify whether his idea is correct, Cloud Dance also deliberately avoid the place of serious injury. This time just cut off her shoulder. But the black flame above the weapon was also partly stained with the broken arm. The next moment, Cloud Change heard a cry. A sharp voice came out of the blood corpse's mouth, with a strange and inexplicable sound. As if I had never heard such an ugly voice. And the other blood corpses were stunned at this moment. They never felt pain, but this was the first time they heard the scream of blood corpses. Yunwu was very happy and knew that he had found the right way. Before he dismembered the corpse, he didn't cry. This time, he just looked at one arm and it hurt like this. It seems that the effect of the black flame is really good. Blood corpses are surprised, don't know how to react. Fall in the eyes of Cloud Dance is a big flaw. Right now, Yunwu's body moves very fast, and his hand falls when he arrives. A scream comes out from the mouth of the blood corpse, which makes this dark forest more terrible. The shrieking voice was penetrating each other. Yunwu is like a god of death, holding the scepter of death, harvesting the blood corpses one by one, so that they can bear the punishment they deserve. The blood corpse's eyes finally revealed the panic mood. Has never met the enemy, cannot hurt, not to extinguish them unexpectedly, also can feel the pain. What scares them even more is that the blood corpses who had their arms cut off tried to connect their arms, but they couldn't connect them anyway. Even the original body couldn't heal, but the wound never bled, just left black marks. What's the matter? What did you do? The first blood corpse bravely asked. Cloud Dance threw the blood on the flicked knife and looked at him carelessly. And he said, "You want to know? How about having a try?" With that, the corner of Cloud's mouth curved. In the eyes of the blood corpse, I felt extremely cold. "I'll ask you again, did you catch the people I said?" Cold voice spread out. With the previous deterrent, let the blood corpses can't help but have a shiver. It's the same thing. It seems totally different from what I said before. In fact, it's not that the Cloud Dance has changed, but their feeling of Cloud Dance has changed. They have become afraid, they have become frightened. Blood corpses are also very melancholy. How can they remember whether they arrested those people? They have members going out every day and going to other places to catch people, okay? How can you remember all of them? But how dare they say that? They're just the lowest blood corpses. If you say this, I'm afraid you will die in Yunwu's hands. We don't know. The head's blood corpse ponders again and again, or opens mouth to say. Anyway, Cloud Dance just makes them unable to heal their wounds, and it can't make them die. What are they anxious to do? On the contrary, I don't know how I will die. After weighing the pros and cons, the blood corpses decided to keep a secret, even if it was to endure the pain. But even if they made up their mind, when the constant scream came to their ears, they still couldn't help but feel afraid and forced themselves not to see the chopped blood corpses lying on the ground. Have become like this but want to die, can only endure great pain. It is terrible. Well, I don't know. Cloud Dance dangerous squint eyes. Cold eyes always stay in their faces, want to read out from their expression. The blood corpses were extremely worried in their hearts, but they had to make a fearless appearance on their faces. One by one he closed his mouth tightly and didn't speak, while Yunwu also looked at them silently. They suddenly feel that this is like a short calm before the storm. The more calm, then the more terrible the next. If you don't. The cold voice of Cloud Dance came into every blood corpse's ear, cold and heartless. I can help you, so that you can't live or die like those on the ground. Find another place to lock in. And when the time comes, You will never let your people come to save others, for fear that they will have difficulty finding you. The blood corpses shivered one after another, and the wailing sound of the blood corpses lying on the ground came into our ears, as if it became more terrible. Blood corpses, who have always been frightening others, feel what terror means for the first time. With these words, Yunwu had no patience to wait. Looking at the faces of the blood corpses one by one, she felt that she needed to let them feel the horror again. The ancient sword in hand was slowly raised, and the black flame above was very happy. It seemed that it was like blood corpses declaring their power. The powerful breath sent out, let the blood corpses have a feeling of meeting natural enemies. Hum. The cloud danced and gave a cold hum. The black flame immediately surrounded the blood corpses, forming an encircling circle and encircling them. Until then, the blood corpses finally know why those classmates will feel the pain. It seems that if you don't get closer to death, you really think I can't do anything with you? Cloud Dance says coldly. Directly fly down. Kick a blood corpse into the sea of fire. The scream combined with the sound of crackling fire burst, which made the blood corpses almost feel the same, and the terror close at hand hit their willpower again and again. Cloud Dance but still don't stop. Black flame big knife several times brandish, and blood corpse's body quickly leaves several openings. Each one is deep to the bone, but not fatal, leaving only the wound, as if there are thousands of insects gnawing at the wound in general, bringing waves of heartache. The bloody corpse that was thrown into the sea of fire was finally silent. Cloud Dance's mouth with a smile, looking at the figure slowly disappearing in the sea of fire, Light said, "It's really not burned, this just how long has turned into ash." The blood corpse's eyes became more frightened, and they didn't even have time to take care of the pain. They just looked at Yunwu as if they were looking at a monster. You killed them? How could you kill them? Panic voice with unbelievable, but all this happened clearly in front of their own. All the blood corpses are clearly seen, even if it is no longer believe, can only admit in front of all this. This human really can let them disappear forever in this world. I say whatever you ask. The blood corpse of the head says in a hurry. They are low-level blood corpses, fighting against human beings with no death or injury. But this human can make them hurt, also can let them die, so their little weak combat effectiveness in front of this person is so vulnerable. If we were still evaluating who was more powerful in the cloud dancing and clan before, now all the blood corpses have a conclusion. The woman in front of us is 100 times more terrifying than the people in the clan. I'm willing to say it at last. Cloud Dance said with a sneer. Say we all say. Blood corpses obediently said. Almost no direct kneel on the ground to please Cloud Dance. Whatever you ask, we all say that we really don't have any impression of the human beings you mentioned, and we may be caught, but we can't remember clearly, because every once in a while, people in the clan will go out to catch people and bring them back. This number is too large. We are just the blood corpses who don't care about anything. How can we have so much time to remember the names of those people? The head of the blood corpse said each sentence. Cloud Dance's eyes will be cold on a point. She didn't expect that she had been forced to ask for a long time, and she didn't even have an accurate answer to such a question. She was so angry that she slashed directly at another blood corpse with a backhand knife. The scream of Audash made the blood corpses tremble again. I ask you again. Why do you want to catch human beings? Cloud Dance's low calm voice asks away. That voice is gloomy and terrible, seemed to come from the life messenger of hell. Just asked this sentence, Yunwu suddenly thought of Xueyin's wife. Just thinking about whether she should ask in another way. The head blood corpse spoke again. We still don't know. The blood corpse of the leader is about to cry. They are just the blood corpses working at the bottom. They come out to find a food. How can they meet such a difficult host? They ask questions that they don't know at all. Seeing that Yunwu's face was not good again, the bloody corpse quickly said, "We all just listened to the instructions above. They let us go out to catch people, so we go out to catch them. We don't know what to do when we catch them back. We only know that we can give them all to the top. As for what we eat, we can find ourselves." Hearing this, Yunwu finally knew what kind of blood corpse he was looking for. It was completely the kind of blood corpse who didn't know anything, but only knew to do what he was told. There was a burst of helplessness. "Where is your head?" Cloud Dance frowns to ask away. If connect this problem all don't know. Afraid as she can directly let these blood corpses live not to be like death. "And your weakness, where is it?" The blood corpses trembled and looked at the people in front of them, with the feeling of saying nothing. Yunwu squinted at them and said, "It doesn't matter if you don't say it. I can try it out bit by bit. As for the test object, it's you." Cloud Dance's words haven't finished. That head's blood corpse directly exposed to go, hurriedly say, "Soft rib is here." Cloud Dance looked at the past, and saw the blood corpse turned around, pointing to his ears, where there is a faint black light flashing. If not deliberately to point, it is really difficult to find. Listen to that blood corpse to say, "This is a dead place." It's so deep. Cloud Dance's eyes flickered slightly. If it wasn't for her own black flame, I'm afraid that she would never find the dead place of the blood corpse. Go from here to the bottom, and the deepest part is the headquarters, but we have never been there. There are all blood corpses with different levels. There will be many strongholds along the way. The deeper the stronghold, the higher the level of blood corpses. The more you listen to Yunwu, the more shocked you feel. Unexpectedly, the blood corpse looks lazy, but there is such a strict system behind it. No wonder it will become a forbidden area. The rumors from the outside world are not true. Although he was shocked, Yunwu didn't forget what he wanted to do. He couldn't help asking, "What's your grade?" As soon as the words came out, the bloody corpse before the meeting had a bitter smile on his face and said, "Where can we be regarded as a grade? But we are the lowest. We even have to look for food by ourselves." Cloud Dance nodded, and heard the blood corpse continue to confess. Each level of blood corpse has different ability, like our level, it's just faster, and then up, there will be different ability, but we don't know exactly what it is. The Cloud Dances in the heart fierce one quiver. In this way, the blood corpse will be more severe after passing a stronghold. Originally, she was still wondering why the blood corpse was not very powerful, but it could be famous. If not for the blood corpse's honesty, she would have taken many detours. Blood corpse and scattered said a lot of information. But Cloud Dance finally only got a little useful information, no longer useful before. When the blood corpse confessed everything, Yunwu closed her eyes and meditated. This sync doesn't matter, but in the eyes of the blood corpse, it seems that he is thinking about how to deal with them. And his heart is full of turmoil. Now they've even said where they died. If Yunwu wants to kill them now, it's really easy, I see. The cold voice came out, and Yunwu finally opened his eyes. "Today I will let you go, but you all remember that you can't say what happened to me, let alone say those words to me. Do you understand?" Blood corpses are a burst of excitement, quickly said. Understand, we will not say out." The blood corpses nodded excitedly and said, "As long as we can survive, what else can we say?" With a cold hum, Yunwu raised his hand to put away the black flame floating on the blood corpse, and all the fire sites around him were removed, except for the blood corpse that had turned to ashes and could not be recovered. Others finally took back the scream. Cloud Dance finally looked at them and turned to the deep. These blood corpses commit many evils, even killing them is not too much, but Yunwu keeps them alive because of the information, and always thinks that the next useful thing will come to their place. And the blood corpse's dead place will soon be sent out. By that time, the blood corpse clan, which has already aroused public anger, will face the biggest crisis, and the lowest blood corpse will not live long, of course. All these are afterwards. Now Cloud Dance is flying towards the deep. Along the way, Yunwu is more alert, but more confident than before. If she didn't know anything about it before, and she was also at a loss no matter how cautious she was, now she seems to have a map. Although she is more cautious, she has a plan in mind. The blood corpse's words are not completely credible, but Yunwu will use her own way to verify whether those statements are true. All the way inside, the valley is very long. Yunwu can slow down again. After walking for a long time, we finally arrive at the first stronghold. Hurry up, take heart and let all those who are outside come back. A bloody corpse full of red kicked up and said, "Don't sleep. I'm very strict recently. I've been caught looking for death. The blood corpse who was kicked up was so dizzy that he didn't know where he was. He stretched out and asked, "What's the matter? What are you looking for? No one's coming anyway." "Why didn't anyone come? Don't you know there are some distinguished guests recently?" The bloody corpse that kicked him kicked again and said, "Get up quickly, someone will come to check right away." Cloud Dance Wrinkly did not hide in a tree, squinting at the dialogue of the two blood corpses below. Although it is a stronghold, it is more like a mobile station. There is no patrol team on time. It only provides some things for the blood corpses, such as food. The lower blood corpses outside will be sent here when they are caught. The blood corpses here will be sent to the next level. And they will be sent to the next level. These people who are responsible for transportation will have better treatment. For example, they don't have to go out to look for food by themselves. Cloud Dance looks at a tree not far away. A blood corpse is wolfing down what it is eating. The blood and flesh blur is extremely terrible. The eating looks like a glutton, which makes people feel sick. Yunwu pricked up her ears and continued to listen to the conversation between the two blood corpses below. "Do you have any guests? Are you kidding me? When do we have guests here? Isn't it food delivered to the door?" Blood corpse did not believe of Smile. It's not that he's joking, but the blood corpse always eats everything. As long as the creatures break into the blood corpse field, no matter what race they are, they can't escape to become their food. Under such circumstances, will someone even send food to the door? How is that possible? Don't talk nonsense. Another blood corpse glared at a pair of eyes and said, "It's a very powerful person who came here this time. He broke many barriers in a row and saw the top directly. So the top said, let's treat it well and don't make any mistakes." "Powerful?" The blood corpse widened his eyes and said in surprise, "Who can be so powerful that the boss is afraid of him?" "Boss but. Don't talk. Get up and get ready to go. All the new people have been tied up. If you are slow, don't blame me for not reminding you when something happens." The blood corpse who was sleeping was stunned and grumbled, but still stood up and walked towards the stronghold. There is a giant snake. On the giant snake, a group of comatose human beings are tied together and watched by a group of blood corpses. The eyes of the giant snake were green, and the color of its body was emerald green. It was impatient to spit out the snake's letter. When it saw the two blood corpses coming, it was a little quiet. Yunwu watched them sit on the snake, and then went to the depth in a sound of knowing rate. It is a special place for transportation. Naturally, there are no experts. The blood corpses took away most of the blood corpses in the stronghold. Cloud Dance eyes cold stay in the tree, in the mind of fast rotation. Those just heard words let her constantly thinking. Distinguished guests? What kind of talent can make blood corpses called noble guests? And it seems that these blood corpses are still afraid of that noble guest. If that's the case, will she get in the way of robbing people? The question that comes up in my mind is answered in a moment. Cloud Dance's eyes are firm. Since we have arrived here, we will go on anyway. Since there is going to be a big fight, let's start from this stronghold. Cloud Dance looks at the blood corpses walking down occasionally with cold eyes, and a smile rises from the corner of her mouth. This is the man just caught at the volcano border. He's still alive. A blood corpse threw a human on the ground and said to another blood corpse standing behind the table, "Oh, there are still human beings on the volcano border? Or alive? You seem to be lucky." The bloody corpse who spoke looked at it and registered it directly. Hey, it's all luck. We've got food for these 2 days. The blood corpse that sends a person flatters of say, Here you are. Here you are. Take it and eat it well." The steward's blood corpse handed over a large piece of raw meat and threw it directly into the other party's hand. He said in disgust, Hey, thank you very much." The blood corpse happily took over and even said thank you and left, along the way humming unknown ditty, while thinking about finding a place where no one can have a good taste of their own fighting fruit. In the blood corpse clan, the leader gives you food. If you are robbed by other blood corpses, no one will decide for you. After all, no one will decide for a blood corpse who has no status. The bloody corpse carrying food carefully protected the piece of raw meat on his hand and finally let go when he came to the place where no one was. Bah, for those who have no conscience, I've worked so hard to catch people. It's not enough for me to give such a piece of dead human flesh. Blood Corpse spat one mouthful to the ground, ferocious scold away, but looking at the hand of the piece of raw meat, but showed a salivating expression. Saliva all flow down. The sound of sharp teeth chewing raw meat, in this quiet space is extremely disgusting, but the Blood Corpse is eating with relish. Before long, the whole piece of raw meat was eaten. Oh, the dead meat is not as delicious as the living people, and I don't know when I can eat the living people. All the food is quite cuddly. The Blood Corpse lay on the ground and touched his stomach. Full? Then go on the road. The cold voice suddenly rang out. Let's just eat full. Ready to rest. Blood Corpse, suddenly a shock, quickly stood up from the ground, looked around, but found no one at all. Who's playing the devil? Blood Corpse stares at eyes to say, continuously toward all around to look for that to hide in the shadow. Suddenly, a figure flashed from behind. Blood Corpse quickly turned around, but still did not see anything, just a wind flashed from behind again. Blood Corpse quickly turned around again. Several times of continuous tossing had already made his heart chill. Was it the fact that he ate living people secretly that he was known by the upper authorities? However, he has yet to respond. The next moment, a swift attack directly cut off the head, cut the whole head in half from the right side, and cut the black rune behind the right ear in half. The Blood Corpse's eyes were wide open in an instant. The blood gas on his body seemed to be absorbed by something, and slowly faded away. The red skin became the original color, and his body fell heavily to the ground. Yunwu shakes off the black flame sword on his hand, shakes off the blood on it, and coldly looks at the human body that has been restored on the ground. An inexplicable emotion flashed in his eyes. These blood corpses, it's all human changes. Yunwu raised his hand. The black flame instantly wrapped the body on the ground, and then turned to ashes. With a wave of cloud dancing arm, the ashes on the ground disperse with the wind. Blood Corpse, how did it come about? Cloud Dance looked up at the depths of the forest and murmured. There must be some purpose for those blood corpses to capture so many human beings. Now, Yunwu feels that he is getting closer to the secret. Deep in the jungle, a mountain palace built in a cave. In the past, there were no strict rules and the staff were lazy, but these days they are not normal. Around the entrance of the mountain palace stood a blood corpse with a weapon. The blood corpses who came and went were silent. The faces of each blood corpse were serious. At this time, in a huge room deep in the mountain palace, a black rune slowly turned into white. The night gradually became dark, and the miasma in the forest became more and more intense, almost making people unable to breathe normally. The pure yang in Yunwu's body runs fast, so that the miasma can't erode half a cent. The clouds are hiding in the night, looking for the single blood corpse. After verifying their dead place, Yunwu directly killed them, destroying the rune behind the ear every time, and then dealing with all the corpses. Within one night, most of the remaining people in the whole stronghold were injured, and more white runes appeared in the mountain palace deep in the forest. But so far no one has found out. Early in the morning, the sun through the cracks of the leaves let the air miasma become thinner. I don't know if it's because of my heart. Yunwu thinks the air today is much better than the day before. Wake up from the tree. Yunwu stretch, squint at the base below, as if waiting for something. It wasn't long before the sound of Zixieri came from deep in the jungle. Cloud Dance quickly stood up to look at the past, between an emerald green snake toward this side fast twist. It seems that the green color of the snake is much brighter than that of the day before. And it seems that its temper is much better. A blood corpse sitting on the snake's head jumped down first, went to the gate of the stronghold, kicked the gate hard and roared. Open the door, open the door. Here comes the delicious food behind him. A group of blood corpses jumped down from the snake one after another. The emerald green snake squints its eyes and lazily moves to its own position. It rests together and spits out letters from time to time. It looks terrible, but the blood corpses around them were used to it, and they were not frightened at all. Open the door, where are the people? The bloody corpse who kicked the door was obviously the person in charge of the stronghold. After several successive kicks, No one opened the door. Naturally, he got angry and kicked them away. Cloud Dance's mouth a hook, in the heart said, "Good play will be staged." The gate of the stronghold was kicked open, but no blood corpses came out. The new blood corpses felt something was wrong. They rushed in and found that there was no shadow in the whole stronghold. "What's the matter?" A blood corpse who took the lead was directly stunned, and suddenly had a bad premonition in his heart. "Why is there no one? What happened?" Another blood corpse also looked at the situation in front of him in shock and said his guess. "Isn't it, are they the newcomers?" The leader's blood corpse's eyes are gloomy. The newcomers should treat the leader well. If they really destroy the stronghold in a fit of anger, they can't say anything. But looking at the present situation, there is no trace of fighting at all. And the blood corpses that disappeared even have no corpses, which looks like a collective runaway from home. Go out and look for everything around here, whether it's alive or dead, complete or incomplete, and get it back. The head blood corpse roars away, on the body faintly suffused with red ray. Around the blood corpse see him angry, quickly answer each scattered. The head of the blood corpse directly into the stronghold, sitting in the center. The cloud dances, the corners of the mouth evoke a smile. A new round of hunting begins. In the jungle, the scattered blood corpses died one after another, and the blood corpses who were in the stronghold waited for a long time. But they didn't wait for the blood corpses sent out to come back, so they became even more angry. But because he was the only bloody corpse in the whole stronghold, he couldn't leave. He had to wait anxiously, but he didn't know that his partner had already died deep in the jungle and in the mountain palace. The blood corpse who was responsible for guarding the room full of runes came into the room on a whim to have a look. However, he was shocked to find that many of the runes had turned white and could not speak. So much. Blood corpse stares at a pair of blood-red eyes to say, "There are hundreds of white runes. A few days ago, those people didn't come here so many times. Now why did they die so many times?" On the main hall of the mountain palace, a hasty figure rushed in, running and shouting, "It's not good, it's not good." The sound of panic attracted everyone's eyes and looked this way. The blood corpse sitting on the first seat frowned at the intruder, and his face became very ugly for a moment. "What's the matter? Don't know if there are any distinguished guests here? What's the fuss about?" Then he looked at a masked man sitting on the other side. "King, no, those runes have changed again." The blood corpse rushes in and says in a hurry. In a hurry, he directly ignores the human sitting on one side. And the so-called king has already stood up at this time. "What did you say?" "That's right. The runes turned white again as before." The report of the blood corpse looked at the blood corpse king so angry, did not dare to hide the things out. Blood corpse king, a pair of eyes become more blood red. Eyes can't help but toward the side, sitting on the stool leisurely looking at all this human. For a while my heart was mixed with 5 flavors. What happened? As soon as the masked men saw them looking at them, they couldn't help saying. The blood corpse king was silent for a moment, and suddenly said with a smile, "Nothing, just some things in the clan. Excuse me for a moment." The man nodded to let him at will. The king of blood corpse gave him a deep look. Then he hurried to go with the reporter. In the room where the runes were placed, the blood corpse king looked at the white runes with a gloomy and terrible face. "King, could it be that person?" Accompanied by the blood corpse carefully speculated. The blood corpse clan has lived here for so long, and later developed into a big clan, turning this forest into a blood corpse land, but it has never encountered such a situation. Those runes, each rune represents a blood corpse. Only when the blood corpse dies, will the rune turn white. Over the past few years, there have been serious injuries to blood corpses, and occasionally 1 or 2 of them have died, but few of them have died hundreds of blood corpses overnight. The last time that distinguished guest arrived, he just killed dozens of blood corpses along the way, only half of them in front of him, which caused an uproar in the clan. Now this blood corpse will naturally associate with the noble guest. Is it because he is unwilling to ask for more, so he finds a companion? The blood corpse king thought the same at the moment when he got the news, but after seeing the man's reaction, he overturned the idea. If he did it, he was afraid that he would directly admit it and take the opportunity to ask for it. But if it wasn't for that person, is there anyone else coveting the territory of Blood Corpse? It's not necessary for the governor to send someone to see what's going on. If someone comes, then she may have arrived at the first stronghold now. Yes. Yunwoo looks at a pile of ashes in front of him, but he doesn't feel relaxed at all. Now she is more and more sure what those blood corpses do to capture human beings. I'm afraid that they have some ways to make human beings become blood corpses and work for them. At the thought of the innocent human being captured and turned into a disgusting existence that can only eat raw meat all day long, Yunwoo felt that a burst of anger in her chest was about to vent at any time. As soon as the palm of his hand turned, the black flame broadsword was put away directly. Yunwoo toured around for another week. After confirming that there was no fish in the net, he went to the stronghold. There is also the most difficult snake. These useless things. Why have you been so long? In the stronghold, a blood corpse in charge of the stronghold yelled angrily at several blood corpses standing below. You all go out and see what useless things don't come back. Yes, several blood corpses hurriedly answered. No one was willing to meet the anger of the person in charge, turned and ran out in a hurry. It's all rubbish. The only blood corpse left in the stronghold sat down angrily, patted the table and said. However, just as he finished his sentence, a scream of "Ah!" came from outside the stronghold, followed by one after another. Sitting in the stronghold of the blood corpse alone, Hart suddenly had bad notice, quickly stood up and rushed out. Outside the door, a figure is facing him, a gust of wind blowing. There is something on the ground with the wind. Human? Blood corpse alone. See that figure turn round. A beautiful face is looking at him coldly. Cloud dance corner of the mouth a hook, cold voice came. You are left one. The intelligence quotient of blood corpse is generally not high. When Yunwoo finished this sentence, he felt a strong breath and cut off his head directly without any reaction. Blood corpse quickly to one side flash, speed them before those even faster on some. Yunwoo was surprised. He didn't expect that the blood corpse who could manage a stronghold was even higher than those of his subordinates. If he didn't guess wrong, he was afraid that the blood corpse in front of him had other moves. With this in mind, Yunwoo was not in a hurry to kill him. Instead, it seemed that he deliberately wanted to see his ability. He bullied him a little bit. The black flame on Guwu's saber only left a little bit, which could ensure that the wound of the blood corpse would not heal. Ah! The blood corpse couldn't dodge. There was a wound directly on his body. The pain in his heart made the blood corpse who didn't feel the pain for a long time scream out. Then he said in horror. You, how could you hurt me? The cloud dances the corner of the mouth a hook, but the eyes are cold and abnormal. Otherwise? How do you think your subordinates disappeared? Blood corpse heart suddenly trembles. No wonder so many blood corpses go out but none come back? No wonder the blood corpses disappeared just after they left the stronghold. It turned out that it was all because of the human in front of them. Does she know where the bloody corpse died? As soon as the blood corpse's eyes sank, he didn't plan to fight with Yunwoo for a long time. His eyes wandered around, ready to run away at any time and report the news. Don't try to escape. It's no use. Cloud Dance said with a sneer. You will be the same as them. Having said that, the ancient sword in his hand directly attacked the blood corpse. The blood corpse speed suddenly raised, unexpectedly flew directly to the air. The extreme speed and can resist the air, compared with those blood corpses before really is not a grade. As soon as Cloud Dance's eyes are bright, it seems that the ability possessed by a higher level blood corpse is to defend the sky. The blood corpse flying into the air did not stop at all, and ran to the depth of the forest. It didn't even have the courage to look back, but just ran a few steps, a strong intention to kill directly from the top of the head down, when the first knife, brush. The next moment, straight through his head from the right side of the head slanting across the left ear. Blood corpse's body heavy toward the ground to fall. Cloud Dance sneer at him. Think can fly, I take you have no way? However, at the next moment, Yunwoo's eyes widened in shock. The blood corpse that fell on the ground didn't recover as slowly as before. On the contrary, the head cut into two parts overlapped, and then ran to the deep forest. From this moment on, the blood corpse will understand. This human has known the weakness of the blood corpse. He must tell the blood corpse above the news as soon as possible. Otherwise, once the news comes out, the blood corpse will be destroyed. But how could Cloud Dance give him this chance? When he saw that he wasn't dead, he started directly. The black flame on the ancient martial arts sword was burning. He cut off the 2 legs of the blood corpse directly, and the blood corpse fell straight to the ground. Cloud Dance kicks off the broken legs and looks at the blood corpse, who turns around and looks at him in horror. Gu Wu's sword on his hand points to his face and asks coldly, "Where are your runes?" The blood corpse tightly pursed her lips. Yunwu frowned and didn't bother to persuade him. He cut off the remaining half of his left leg with a knife. "Ah! Hey!" Scream a moment to think of. Blood corpse's eyes appeared a touch of panic. "If you don't, I'll try a little bit until I find your rune." The cold voice of Cloud Dance is more and more low, and it is extremely terrible in the ears of blood corpse. Yunwu didn't wait for the other party to answer. With a big knife in his hand, he cut off the 2 legs completely. I said the black flame is eroding the blood corpse's body. Even if he has the backbone, he can't bear the pain. At the moment, the blood corpse cries repeatedly. Cloud Dance this just stopped the action on the hand. In at the back of the neck. The blood corpse finished the words intermittently. At the next moment, Yunwu cut off the blood corpse's neck without saying a word. With a scream, the blood corpse's head rolled out 2 meters away. Cloud Dance looked at him coldly, but did not see the body change, and the head facial features are still constantly twitching. "Lie to me?" Cloud Dance cold spit out these 2 words. Eyes a cold, ready to start again. Roar. Suddenly, a cold sense of killing came directly behind him. Almost out of instinct, Yunwu flashed to the side directly. The clinker followed by an emerald green tail swept towards him quickly, with a fierce wind. Yunwu's eyes sank, and he cut up the sword mercilessly. With a bang, Guwu broadsword and snake skin made a spark. What a hard snake skin. Yunwu was startled, and 2 or 3 times he boarded the nearest big tree. With a gust of wind, Snaketail chased Yunwu. Yunwu stepped on the tree trunk with his right foot, flashed over and stepped on the snake's head. Taking advantage of this short gap, Cloud's eyes quickly swept down, and the blood corpse that had been cut off before was recovering a little bit. Can't let him recover, more can't let him leave, otherwise the next road will be ambush. Cloud Dance just made a decision in the heart. The big snake under the body directly twisted angrily, and the huge body rolled up and down. Cloud Dance's eyes were cold. He quickly took back his mind and grasped the scales on the snake, so that he would not fall down. The burning black flame on the Guwu saber chopped at the snake. The black flame, with the effect of corrosion, turns up the scales on the snake. Yunwu felt the strong smell of barbecue flashed from the tip of his nose, and immediately he cut more happily. Black charred traces appeared on the snake, with a little black flame beating on it. Although can't leave too deep scar, but in that black flame of a little roast, also really not good. The snake writhes its body in pain. It feels as if it is in hell. When has it been treated like this? After a long time of flipping, the Cloud Dance could not be shaken off at all. A cruel look flashed in the snake's eyes. Then the snake was like crazy, and hit the big tree hard. Yunwu was cutting happily, and almost didn't notice these. When he did, he was directly hit on the tree, and the huge and strong trunk was cut off lazily. There was a burst of chi and blood in his chest, but he was still desperately grasping the scales of the snake, and his eyes seemed to be able to spout fire. This smelly snake dares to do this with itself. If it's not for fear of being found that it doesn't call its own summoner, Little Smelly can subdue her directly. Now it dares to let her hit the tree? Cloud Dance's eyes were cold, so he put away the ancient sword in his hand, grabbed the scales of the snake in one hand, and lifted the scales of the snake with the other hand quickly, and pulled it out with the greatest strength. Hiss! The snake cried in pain. Then more impolitely with the cloud toward another tree. The original high body transformed into a crawling forward, in the lush tree trunks, accompanied by a whistling wind and the sound of friction on the ground, constantly shuttle. Yunwu sat on the back of the snake, holding the scales of the snake tightly. She didn't want to leave. She just held her breath. She must teach the snake a lesson. The hand moves ceaselessly. Whenever it has a chance, it will directly pull off a few scales. Every time when the snake's speed is a little slower, it will be turned upside down by the pain on its back. The blood corpse and snake in the blood corpse field have not experienced pain for a long time, so when they encounter Cloud Dance, a little pain will be magnified countless times, not to mention that they encounter more than a little pain. Yunwu didn't have any time to spare. After several times of observation, he felt the 7-inch snake clearly. At this time, he was crawling towards the 7-inch place, pulling out some scales while climbing. The snake was in great pain. He didn't find Cloud dancing at all. It was just that he had been thousands of miles away from his previous position. Yunwu frowned and looked at himself farther and farther away. He knew that he was afraid that the blood corpse had already left. In that case, he would put the revenge on the snake. Finally, Yunwu got close to the 7-inch position. And the snake seems exhausted, although the Cloud Dance is still pulling out 2 scales from time to time. The speed of the snake is not as fast as before. The ancient sword in Yunwu's hand appears again, and the black flame covers it. But this time, it wasn't on the snake. Instead, it was like picking up the scales and rowing against the scales. Hiss! The snake rolled violently again. 7 inches away, the scales were peeled off, revealing the white snake meat inside, and the red blood. It's time to stop being crazy for such a long time. Cloud Dance sneers to say. Afterward, the black flame big knife on the hand directly stabs toward the big snake's body. Puff dash, a bright red blood gushes out. The Cloud Dance's fast flash can avoid the past. The rolling of the snake was more violent, and a pair of animal eyes flashed with blood-red light. Yunwu doesn't stop. The black flame on the black flame dagger will be inserted into the nearby snake meat and directly roasted into coke. Yunwu forces again, and the black flame dagger will be completely submerged. The snake is so big that it can't get through from the other side even if it is submerged. Cloud vision a cold, black flame into a sword, directly through the snake's body. With a shrill cry, the snake fell heavily on the ground the next moment and twitched powerlessly. Yunwu didn't dare to take it lightly. He controlled the black flame in his hand until he burned a hole in the snake. Then he slowly pulled out the black flame sword when the snake was silent. Behind him, the forest, which had been flourishing before, had already been knocked down by the snake. Such a strong tree can't stand the big snake's strike. It can be seen that the big snake has some skills, but it's a pity that it was attacked by Yunwu. Yunwu carefully searched the snake for a long time, but found that the snake had no inner elixir, so he couldn't help feeling lost. Bai Chong is such a big man that he doesn't even have Naiden. Cloud dances to curl a mouth way. When I was about to leave, I suddenly thought that this snake was a great tonic. You know, ordinary snakes are full of treasure. Although this one is poisonous, it's more precious than those I saw before. With this in mind, Yunwu directly started to peel the whole snake, and found out the snake gall and other messy things inside. All the valuable things that can be used are all thrown into the space with you. You can see that Hyo in the sea and a group of summoners think that she is poor and crazy. Mama, are you short of money? I have a lot of treasures on me. I'll give them to you if you want them. Small stinky voice rings out. A face worries of say. Cloud dance hands action meal. Then directly choose to ignore the small stink. Continue to find the snake on the baby. Mama, I'm serious. My parents gave me these things before I left. They are all my things. I can dispose of them at will. Just take whatever you want. Small stink see Cloud dance ignore her. Thought Cloud dance is not believe quickly said. Cloud dance continues to selectively ignore the words of Little Stink. Little Stinky looked at the action of Cloud dance and thought that what he said was wrong. How can you ignore him? Where to know? There are a lot of treasures in the space of Cloud dance. The reason why this snake is hollowed out is to make the best use of everything. Finally, Yunwu dug up all the treasures on the whole snake, leaving a huge body lying on the ground. After thinking about it, Yunwu chopped a large piece of snake meat and prepared to roast it in the future. Then she left here satisfied. Not long after Yunwu left, whoosh whoosh, the wind sounded, and several figures appeared directly next to the snake's body. Looking at the hollowed-out snake, The blood corpse's eyes became extremely shocked. It seems that she hasn't been away for long. A leading blood corpse said. Different from other blood corpses, he looks more like a human being. In addition to his red skin and eyes, he even learns to dress like a human being. There were several other blood corpses beside him. After the head of the blood corpse finished, there was another dressed blood corpse waving to a certain direction behind him. Soon a blood corpse was brought up. It was the one who had escaped from the battle between Yunwu and the snake. Deep in the forest has long sent blood corpses to come, just on the way met ready to report blood corpses. This can be so fast here, who knows, or a step late. Lord. The blood corpse brought out respectfully said to the leader's blood corpse. The most advanced blood corpses in the blood corpse clan have their own territory, in which they are the king. These blood corpses are called lords in order to distinguish them from other blood corpses. You said, does that human know where we die? The lord's cold look looked down at the blood corpse in front of him, and asked coldly. Yes, I'm afraid it was revealed by those low-level blood corpses. She thought that the point of death was behind her left ear. So she came up and attacked her left ear. Later, I lied to him that it was actually the back neck, and she cut off her head. Fortunately, this big snake appeared in time and entangled her, so I escaped. The Lord frowned. So she doesn't know where you are? You didn't tell her anything else? Blood corpse quickly shakes his head and says, No, how can I tell her? I just want to hurry back to report, so I take the opportunity to slip away and say nothing. Hearing this, the Lord nodded and waved him down. The blood corpse hesitated for a moment and said, Lord, that human is not ordinary. It seems that she has some way to restrain us. Attacked by her, unexpectedly I can feel the pain. The Lord's eyes suddenly became cold. What do you say? Blood corpse shakes for a while, can't help but shrink neck say. Is true, that kind of pain is very drill heart, can't stand at all. It can make the blood corpses feel pain, said the Lord squinting and murmuring. The blood corpse stood waiting for a long time without waiting for the next sentence. When he was hesitating whether to leave or speak first, the Lord finally spoke. You've done a good job. Go back and ask someone to give you another level. There was a flash of joy in the blood corpse's eyes, and he quickly said, Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. With that he left happily. Hearing the news, the blood corpses gathered together, and looked at the snake lying on the ground, which had no life for a long time. They couldn't help thinking. On the other side, Yunwu leisurely hid in a tree and found a branch to pass through the raw snake meat. Just as he was about to set fire to roast, the voice of Hyo in the sea suddenly came. Are you not afraid that they will come here for such an honest barbecue? Cloud Dance hand a meal, some embarrassed smile said. Accidentally forget hee. Then, as soon as you lift your hand, the space elements condense out, and a barrier directly envelopes you, which leads to the flame and slowly roasts. Under the black flame, the fresh snake meat was slowly forced out of its toxicity and became more delicious. Soon the fragrance filled the whole barrier. Yunwu was very patient. He roasted it carefully with a small fire. After half an hour, he finally put away the flame and ate the roasted snake meat. In the space, a few summon beasts look at the cloud dance, eat so fragrant, can't help but have the impulse of drooling. If it wasn't for the current situation, I'm afraid they would rush out and let Yunwu give them some. Feeling the emotions of the summoners, the cloud danced around the corner of his mouth and said, Don't worry, there's a lot of snake meat. When these things are solved, I'll bake them for you. On hearing this, the summoners immediately cheered. Although watching Yunwu eat barbecue are some greedy eyes, but are a lot better. Yunwu reluctantly shakes her head. Fortunately, she roasts a lot. At the moment, she directly divides it out and throws it into each space. A few summon beasts just put away their saliva and share the delicious food. Except for fire space. You know, Hongling, Xiaoqiu and the red fire dragon all belong to the category of food. Even if Yunwu specially gave them more than half of them, they couldn't bear to fight. A meal is 80% full, but the green snake's flesh contains powerful energy. Just eating this, Yunwu will feel the abundant physical strength in her body. I didn't expect such a poisonous thing to work so well. Cloud Dance said thoughtfully. I felt that some of the snake meat I had taken was too little. I even began to consider whether to kill another big snake to get some meat. After all, there are as many strongholds as there are blood corpses. Each stronghold has a big snake. However, she didn't want to go back to the previous position to get the snake meat. Where can the snake meat be delicious after it has been dead for so long? Anyway, she has to go deep. Now that she has enough to eat and drink, even if she wants to get more snake meat, she has to go deep. Stood up, looked around because of her and become silent a lot of forest. Cloud will remove the barrier, flying toward the depths of the forest. At the moment when the barrier was removed, the fragrant smell of barbecue that stayed in the air immediately sent out, and soon attracted a group of blood corpses. What's the taste? Why have you never smelled it? A bloody corpse covered his nose, looking at the Lord who was looking in front but still said. The Lord frowned and asked about the smell in the air. Blood corpse is only used for raw meat. When will it come into contact with this kind of thing? Now, as if human beings smelled raw meat, they feel that they can't accept it. It's the taste of that human being. The Lord said coldly, looking towards the direction that Yunwu left. It seems that we are one step closer to her. But Lord, we are so many people, she is so fast, and she is one more person. Said a bloody corpse. That's why they didn't catch up for a long time until Yunwu finished the roast and finished eating the meat. If the speed of Cloud Dance continues, I'm afraid it won't work if it goes on like this. The Lord's eyes flashed slightly, which was what he was worried about. What's more, they not only pursued, but also knew the person's direction. Many times they had to rely on judgment, and they also took many detours. After a long silence, the Lord finally made a decision. Go to tell the people above that we should strengthen our defense in every remaining stronghold. Once we find her, we can directly wipe her out. No matter what her purpose is, as long as she thinks of the deepest part, she will definitely pass through the stronghold. Yes, the blood corpses looked at the lords who had come up with a way, and felt that they were really the lords, that is, they were smarter than other blood corpses. These blood corpses who wanted to catch the blood corpses with low intelligence rarely realized the decision of high intelligence. Yunwu didn't know that he had been chased, but he was still moving towards the deep forest, and soon arrived at the second stronghold. Seems defense has increased? Cloud Dance stands on a tree, looking at the base below and saying. Cloud Dance said and a little closer. Want to try to hear about the dead. From the last escaped blood corpse. Yunwu knows that the location of the death cave on each level of blood corpse is different. If you want to kill them at one stroke, you must know where the rune is. Otherwise, we have to rely on the black flame every time. It's really a waste of time, and the other party can't honestly stay there to let you burn. Just close to the Cloud Dance, about the dead hole did not hear, then heard another thing. The leader came down and ordered that as long as he saw a human woman, he would kill her directly. Human woman? Is it the one with the distinguished guest again? What are you talking about? The first bloody corpse glared at him and said, although the noble guest can kill the bloody corpse, he doesn't know where our dead place is. He uses his own skills, so he becomes a noble guest. Now this one knows our dead hole. If she tells us about it, what will be the consequence? The obedient blood corpse couldn't help shivering all over and said in disbelief, God, she knows where we die? Yes. Another blood corpse nodded seriously. So the leader gave an order, saying that no matter how capable she was, even if she came with the same mind as the noble guest, she would kill her. The obedient blood corpse shrunk his neck and said, it's terrible. She must have come for revenge. If she is really the same as the distinguished guest, how can she not rush to see the king, but kill all the blood corpses she met along the way? I left several blood corpses, but you don't know it. Cloud Dance in the tree looking at the blood corpse below. The corner of the mouth coldly raised a radian. However, they are more and more curious about their distinguished guests. Who is it? It seems that these blood corpses can be honored as distinguished guests. Word of mouth, it seems that they are very noble. Cloud Dance just thought. Then suddenly feel the whole body breath a change. It was Hyo who hid her breath. Now that you're wanted, be careful. In my mind, the voice of black pride came coldly and arrogantly. The Cloud Dances to curl a mouth, Also no longer say what. Yunwoo stood on the tree and overheard 2 sentences. He felt that there was no useful news. So he stood up and climbed to the height of the tree. Although the situation is not good, it has long been expected by Yunwoo. Standing at a height overlooking the base below, with black pride to help hide the breath, Cloud Dance naturally does not have to worry about divulging its own existence. Carefully see the deployment below clearly. Cloud Dance corners of the mouth with a sneer. Go ahead, go ahead. Night gradually came. Originally for the blood corpses is very comfortable night, but because of the existence of Cloud Dance and become soul-stirring, the order has been issued to every blood corpse. Make sure to kill Yunwoo in the blood corpse field. Every blood corpse knew the means of Cloud Dance, and also knew that she could not only kill the blood corpse, but also make the blood corpse feel pain. But only one blood corpse had seen him, and the others died in her hands. Cloud Dance has not yet appeared in front of the blood corpse, has become a mysterious and cruel legend. Let the Cloud Dance can't laugh or cry. This situation has only one effect on her. That is, it is even more difficult to start. It's so cunning. I can't find a single blood corpse. Cloud Dance helplessly shook his head, looking at not far away around the fire sitting together gobbling up a few blood corpses. On this day, because of the order to kill her, 1 or 2 single blood corpses could be killed at the beginning. But later, I don't know how, these low IQ blood corpses even learned to fight as a team. They came together in groups of 3 or 5, so that the Cloud Dance had no chance to start, because if they were not careful, they would attract more blood corpses. I thought it would be better in the evening, but I didn't expect that the blood corpses, who used to like to find a place to rest alone, also got together in a strange way, sleeping, eating, and finally didn't have a chance to start. Cloud Dance took a deep look at the blood corpses, and finally decided to take more chances. Stroll around the stronghold in the forest, and finally get farther and farther away from the stronghold. Finally, in a remote place, Yunwoo saw a single blood corpse. The blood corpse was squatting on the ground with its back to Yunwoo, and didn't know what it was doing. Yunwoo approached each other carefully, but he didn't notice. Cloud Dance palm turned. An ancient martial arts sword appeared in the hand. Then without saying a word, directly cut to the back. That blood corpse speed is extremely fast, before the black flame big knife has not fallen. Then seemed to be a prophet general, fast toward aside to flash. Yunwoo chases after a single blood corpse. It's strange if she doesn't get angry. It's troublesome if she leads other blood corpses. Guwu broadsword kept waving, the black flame above was beating, chasing the red figure all the time. I'm just curious to come in and have a look. You don't have to kill everything like that. I'll take what I want and leave without disturbing you. The blood corpse in front of him yelled as he ran. In a panic, his back fell into Yunwoo's eyes. Suddenly he felt that this person was a little familiar, and he quickly stopped his action. Stop! A cold voice sounded. Fortunately, there is no one here, and it's far away from the stronghold, but there is no trace. In front of the blood corpse step meal, can obviously see the body is stiff, as if to hear some incredible sound in general. Cloud Dance coldly said, "Turn around." The bloody corpse swallowed a mouthful of saliva and turned slowly. When I saw that pretty face, 3 black lines on Yunwoo's forehead slipped. This man is not a blood corpse, but a human disguised as a blood corpse, or rather, a summoner. Long time no see. No, I didn't expect to see you again so soon. Schwani Man said to Yunwoo with a smile. Cloud Dance didn't catch a cold at all to his initiative greeting, lightly nodded, and then turned around to leave. The man in Schwani was stunned. He rushed to catch up with Yunwoo and asked, "Why don't you ask me why I'm here? Why do you pretend to be like this?" Cloud Dance looked at him like an idiot and said, "It's your business, it has nothing to do with me. Unless you disturb me, I'll kill you." After that, Cloud Dance frowned and looked at the sleeve pulled by Schwani Man's blood-red hand. Inadvertently pulled back the sleeve, and then left. Schwani Man along, and then continued to persevere to catch up. "I heard that you were hunted down. How did you provoke those blood corpses? Why don't you come in and pretend? It's easy for them to find you like this. It's not so easy to be surrounded by blood corpses at that time. Hey, did you listen to me?" Yunwu was bothered by his noise. She would not have come to look for the single blood corpse if she had known so much nonsense about this man. What do you want? Cloud Dance frowns to ask away. The man in Xuanyi laughed. Why don't we go together? At least two people can take care of each other. Cloud Dance did not believe to see him one eye. To his proposal is not at ease. Working with this guy? I'm afraid it's easier to draw blood corpses, right? Moreover, she didn't know who the man in Xuanyi was, what his purpose was, why he had been pestering her all the time, and sent the flower of rattan to her hand. Before knowing the cause and effect of all this, Yunwu felt that he could not trust him too easily. No need. Cloud Dance coldly left these two words, then no longer pay attention to him, improved the speed to leave directly. Clinker, men's speed is not slow, still closely behind the cloud. Well, why don't you agree? I tell you that I'm not as strong as you, but I'm not so weak. One more person has more strength. You're a dangerous person. You're still a girl. If there is a rag around it this time, Yunwu has no doubt that he will take it and put it into the mouth of the man in Xuanyi. Since you say you want to cooperate, show some sincerity. No way. Cloud Dance stood in a place where there was no one, turned his head and said to the man in Xuanyi, Xuanyi man alone, what sincerity? Cloud Dance mouth a hook, take out a piece of snake meat from the portable space, also exudes the attractive fragrance. This is roast snake meat, the man in Xuanyi said in shock. Then he grabbed it and prepared to eat it. You know, it's a great tonic. Cloud Dance holding barbecue hand to the side of a flash, to Xuanyi man light said. This thing is not for you to eat. If you succeed in the next thing, I'll give you another one in the future, okay? Xuanyi man's line of sight this just received some. Turned to look at Cloud Dance seriously and ask away. Want me to do what? Yunwu looked at the roasted snake meat wrapped in leaves on his hand, and said, help me to take this thing away and find a place to put it. It's better to put it in a ventilated place so that the taste can float far away. Xuanyi man was stunned, instantly understood the meaning of Cloud Dance. All right, leave it to me. Xuanyi man said brightly directly from Yunwu's hand to pick up the snake meat. After it's done, can I eat it? Cloud Dance speechless looked at him said, if you have the ability to get back. Xuanyi man bowed and said confidently, I'm sure I'll eat the snake meat. And remember what you promised me after that. Without waiting for Yunwu to reply, he flew directly to the distance. The tall trees in the forest are vertical and horizontal, but he is not hindered by it at all. On the contrary, he is as fast as a fish in water. Cloud Dance looks at the figure of the man in Xuanyi who is far away, as if thinking. His identity seems to be unusual. He deliberately contacts you and doesn't know what the purpose is. The voice of black pride rings out in the sea of knowledge. Cloud Dance nodded, then smiled. No matter what his purpose is, at least now it seems that he is a friend rather than an enemy. If he has been like this in the future, I don't mind making another friend. If he thinks he has done something sorry for me, I will not let him go. The cold voice was fearless, with a touch of natural pride. What do you want to do next? Black proud heart satisfied extremely, maybe after the expiration of 3 years. Even if he left, she also won't have what matter. Cloud Dance looked up at the direction of the stronghold. A flash of firmness flashed in his eyes. You say I'll go to pick a stronghold alone, which is more powerful without those experts. Among the hot volcanoes, the red magma emits high temperature, and the rolling bubbles are constantly surging. Just a glance makes people feel hot. In this rare place deep in the magma, there is a figure lying in it. The body, which had been gradually transparent, seems to have changed. Slender body, at this time is very peaceful immersion lying. At this time that hot magma, as if he had no effect in general. The beautiful and charming face was not eroded by the magma at all. The symmetrical body was lying quietly, and the face was full of calm expression, as if it was not the magma around his body, but lying on a comfortable bed, with an evil smile at the corner of his mouth. Long Qingxia's whole body emits light, resisting the hot magma. Under the attack of the magma, the light of that layer shrinks towards the interior of the body little by little. Although the speed is very slow, it has been a few days, and it only shrinks a little in the past, but it is still working hard. There is no one in the outer space of magma. Only the dragon lies quietly, patiently waiting for the arrival of that moment. Little thing, you have to wait for your husband. Another swamp, a man's figure in a mess. His clothes were tightly wrapped, his head was covered with a scarf, his face was covered with a mask, and even his hands were covered with gloves. He was fully armed with only 2 eyes exposed. Shangguan panting sitting on a stone. Looking at the side has been a corpse snake slowly chasing to the swamp, cold eyes. I don't know how to get to such a place. Shangguan looked at the surrounding environment, and finally did not pull the mask off. There are many poisons in this place. Even walking in the jungle, you may be scratched by the plants on both sides of the road. If the plants that you scratched happen to be poisonous, you will be miserable at that time. That's why the Shangguan wrapped himself up so tightly. In such a place, there are too many accidents. If you are not careful, you don't know how to die. Shangguan, who had just arrived here, had been scratched by plants because of carelessness. The terrible thing was that the wound was small, and he didn't feel any pain. It was only when he developed dizziness that he was surprised to find that the small wound actually flowed black pus. Later, Shangguan, who had a long memory, wrapped himself so tightly. The climate in the swamp is humid, but very dull. Not long after he left, the clothes of the upper official were wet with sweat, and it was very uncomfortable to stick them on his body. But in such a place, he didn't dare to take off and change his clothes, so he had to bear it. Grandma, it's hard. Shangguan scratched his back and said with a frown. Then he sighed. I don't know what happened to Xiaowu. Will they be sent to this ghost place like me? It's not reliable to say that the dragon's evil spirit is not good enough to make a teleportation array. If I could, it would never happen. After complaining for a long time, Shangguan finally recovered from his fatigue and looked at the surrounding environment. Finally, he decided to continue to go in the original direction. Keep going in the same direction, you'll get out of this place. Cheer up, he is not a coward. In the blood corpse field, a patrol team near the stronghold, 5 blood corpses gathered towards the deep and said something that they had not. Don't you think that human is not so powerful? Otherwise, how can we have so many blood corpses looking for her, but she has been hiding and not showing up? I think so. Maybe she can only deal with those low-level blood corpses, or sneak attack. A little bit more powerful. She would not dare to come out. It's said that a lord has been sent down to kill her with several experts. I'm afraid she's too talented to use. What? Feudal lord? To deal with a human being, the lord has to do it himself? It's exaggerating. Yes, the lord is following her around with several experts. I saw her last time with my own eyes. True or false? Of course it's true. What can I do for you? It's said that the human knows where our dead place is, so in order to prevent her from leaking out, he specially sent the lord to come. So it is no wonder we attach so much importance to it. If it's leaked out, we'll all be finished. That's it. That's why we should be serious. Blood Corpse, as if he had become the center of the team in general, said triumphantly. All of a sudden, a burst of wind, Blood Corpse immediately turned his head cold drink. Who? After that, without waiting for the other blood corpses to react, they directly caught up with each other, and their speed reached the extreme in an instant. The other blood corpses were stunned and reacted quickly. They immediately followed him and chased him in that direction. The speed of the blood corpse in the front reaches the extreme, which is naturally faster than the other blood corpses. He wanted to get ahead, and soon left the team behind for a distance. When he finally stopped, he saw a woman standing there looking at him coldly. Are you the human being? Asked the bloody corpse. Yunwu didn't bother to pay attention to him. With a quick movement, he directly stepped forward and stuffed a thing into his mouth. The other hand quickly picked him up, speed to the extreme, directly toward the distance. Behind him, several blood corpses finally came up. What's the matter? How did you get here and disappear? A blood corpse looked around in surprise. Only from the breath, it really disappeared here, but how did it disappear? No. A frightened voice came out of the blood corpse's mouth, which attracted several other blood corpses to look at him one after another. What's the matter? He must have met that human. Maybe it has been poisoned. Almost all the blood corpses killed by human beings disappeared out of thin air. As soon as the words came out, the other blood corpses were stunned and shivered in their hearts. Or let's call them over quickly. That human seems to be very strong, said a bloody corpse, shrinking its neck. Yes, we used to be only responsible for finding people. Now that we have clues, let's call them to come. Another blood corpse says, wish to leave this place immediately. It's just that my companion doesn't mean to leave, so it's not good to go by himself. Then we won't go to him? The bloody corpse hesitated all the time. He still had some memories of the captured bloody corpse in his heart. He didn't like his feelings, but he always felt that if he could catch Yunwu, it would be a great achievement. Come on, that man is so strong that he may be dead. If you want to find him, you can find him yourself. We don't want to die gone. The other blood corpses said one after another, calling each other to leave the place. There is no humanity in the blood corpse clan. There are few people in the same clan who can communicate with each other, let alone are real friends like human beings. For them, the most important thing every day is to have a full stomach. Other things are not important, so it's important to protect their lives at this time. The existence that we thought we would never die is naturally more afraid of death than other creatures. Well, let's leave first and tell others what happened here. After that, a group of blood corpses left here directly. Cloud dance with a blood corpse has been some distance from the stronghold. No matter how much noise there will be no blood corpse here. After that, Yunwu finally stops. When you throw the blood corpse in your hand, Guwu sword appears directly. The black flame above it flies out of the knife and forms a circle around it. The hot heat attacks the blood corpse on the ground and stops abruptly when it is about to touch him. The cold voice of Cloud Dance came, like the curse of death. Say, where is your dying place? The blood corpse on the ground has been too scared to speak for a long time. On weekdays, he can only boast and can't do anything at all. Today, he just said that the human is not very powerful and he didn't expect to find himself so soon. At the thought of those inexplicable companions who disappeared, the blood corpse's heart was even more afraid. Yunwu squints at him and sees that he doesn't make a sound for a long time. With a wave of his weapon, he cuts off his arm with a black flame Guwu sword. Ah! The bloody corpse screamed. Quickly put out his hand to cover the arm. Want to put the arm back, cut off this heartbreaking headache. How to pick up the clinker cannot go back, the broken arm, the black flame beating. The pain hit his brain, let him more fear. How could that be? Blood corpse shocked looking at that can't recover the arm. As if saw what terrible thing, Langlang said. Cloud Dance looked at him coldly. Say, where is your dead place? The blood corpse shivered all over and said quickly. Don't kill me, I said the dead place is on the ankle. Cloud Dance's wrist turned, and led Guwu's sword to wave quickly. The left foot of the blood corpse was cut off directly from the ankle, and the blood corpse screamed out. Don't kill me, don't kill me. The blood corpse looked at the Cloud Dance in horror. Only thought how this beautiful person could be so cruel. Cloud Dance coldly looked at him. The wrist turned again, the right foot also cut off from the ankle. This time, the blood corpse didn't even have the time to scream. With his eyes staring directly, he fell heavily on the ground and lost his life completely. The skin on his body immediately became the original color. Yunwu glanced at him faintly, and the black flame swept away, burning the corpse that had been turned into human form to ashes. It's a good way. Scattered applause came from behind. Yunwu was surprised and turned around suddenly. Several figures jumped down from the tree and surrounded Yunwu. The uniform black robe only distinguishes the height of identity from the pattern on it. The person in the middle facing Yunwu is the one she is most familiar with, but unexpectedly, she meets again here. What's more, he is still alive, and seems to have recovered completely. Shengguanli. Yunwu's face sank. She thought she already knew who the noble guests were. Long time no see, Yunwu. Shengguan clenched his teeth and spat out this sentence. With the deliberate smile on his face, it seemed that his face was very strange. Cloud Dance looks at him coldly. The mind moves suddenly said. Is it? But you are so ugly now. Shengguanli was stunned. He didn't respond to what Yunwu said. He saw a sneering smile on the corner of Yunwu's mouth, and his face became very ugly. How dare you play with me when you die? As soon as the cloud danced around the corner of his mouth, he didn't know if he was influenced by the Shangguan, so now he was used to doing what they might do alone. And he even joked. You don't worry that your sons are missing? Don't be afraid of his accident. Let you successor? No, it's for you to have no successor. Cloud Dance Light said, tone with the meaning of irony. But at the same time, he looked around with his spare light, and his mind turned quickly, thinking about how to get rid of himself. The last time she met Shangguanli, she almost exhausted all her strength to hurt him so badly, but she didn't kill him. You can recover in such a short time. It can be seen that the Shangguan calendar is not simple. Of course, I can't rule out what Shangguanshong did secretly. Anyway, it's not suitable for positive confrontation at present, otherwise it's very bad for her. At the mention of Shangguan, Shangguan's face was even more ugly. He said fiercely, that villain, it's better to die outside. I'll do it myself. Cloud Dance's eyes become cold. Although I know Shangguanli's attitude towards that son, every time I hear him say it personally, I still think it's not worth it. How sad it is to have such a father. At the moment, Yunwu didn't say much to them, and his eyes were cold. The big knife of ancient martial arts on the hand is beating the black flame, and directly attacks the superior officer. Shangguan's eyes narrowed. Unexpectedly, Yunwu took the initiative and didn't pay any attention to him. He was angry. Facing Guwu Degeo, he didn't even dodge. As soon as he lifted his hand, the black energy came out from his palm and directly attacked Yunwu. Well, it's a trick to carve insects. Shangguan said coldly. Then the right hand raised, black energy with a huge corrosive ability toward the cloud attack. Cloud Dance in the heart is surprised. Feel that powerful power, quickly to one side flash. That attack speed is extremely fast. Even the speed of Cloud Dance just can avoid. Later, I'm afraid it will be blasted into slag. Damn, he's stronger than before? Cloud Dance looked at Shangguan Li's expressionless face. His heart could not help but dignified. Then, Cloud Dance's eyes lit up a burning sense of war. So what if I can't? If she really tried her best, she would not let Shangguan get better. Yunwu believes that one day, she will surpass Shangguan Li, or even Shangguanshong, and destroy the Beast Gate. The black energy came again, as if it was just an attack from Shangguan Li, but it was still powerful enough to kill people. Yunwu takes a deep breath. The purple fighting air emerges on the body and protects the body firmly. The wind elements in the body are surging out, forming a powerful hurricane in front of the body, facing the attack of Shangguan Li. This time, she attacked directly. Shangguan Li was stunned, and a hint of sarcasm flashed in his eyes. I don't think I can stop my attack in this way? But in the twinkling of an eye, Shangguan Li looked in front of him in shock. With a bang, the force of colorful elements and the black energy collided together, and a powerful hurricane broke out, rushing towards the surroundings. Yunwu had expected it for a long time. When the attack was released, it directly flashed back, and the powerful impact came. Yunwu was not affected by the protection of her fighting spirit. The opposite Shangguan Li underestimated Yunwu's attack, and thought that it was just a mantis pawning the cart. Finally, he was attacked by the shock wave and stepped back 3 steps before stopping. He was a little embarrassed. Is it still a trick to carve insects? Cloud Dance Mouth Light Hook, cold looking at him, asked. Shangguan Li's face was gloomy and terrifying. But it was only by surprise that he got a little benefit, and he made you proud like this? You're too conceited. If I didn't try my best, would you? Do you want to block my attack? Yunwu naturally knows this, so she will fight. If Shangguan did her best, she would not fight to death. She had to save her life to find her partner. How could she allow herself to be folded here? Don't be too conceited. If you can stop it, you have to try. Cloud Dance says coldly. Shangguan angrily opened his eyes and laughed angrily. Well, since you are so confident, then I will help you and let you have a good look. Do you have the ability to withstand my attack? Having said that, the black fog all over the body emerged, and the strong breath emanated from this small corner. Standing beside Shangguan Li, Those black-robed people who have not yet done so are surprised to see Shangguanli's action. Can this little girl force the deputy patriarch to do her best? Realizing this, there was a flash of shock and fear in their eyes. Yunwu pursed her lips, looked at Shangguanli's movement, felt the huge energy, and thought silently in her heart. I don't know when I can have this powerful power, but she believed that it won't be long. The purple on Cloud Dance body is more and more crystal clear. Facing the upper official Li Qing to try her best, she didn't fight hard. Of course, if you really need to fight with all your strength, it's not sure who will win or lose, but her purpose is not this. Otherwise it will disturb those blood corpses and cause trouble if she wants to leave again. So Hu has stipulated that she must go on if the superior officer makes a fierce move. Black energy is more and more rich. In front of Shangguanli, a small hurricane is formed. The majestic energy is daunting, but it can't make the Cloud Dance have a color change. The black energy turned into a long sword, full of deep cold light, directly hit the cloud. Cloud Dance palm turns, 4 elements appear in 2 palm heart. Pa. After that, the 4 elements were directly patted together to form a 4-color light ball. The attack is more and more in front of the cloud, the corner of the mouth a hook. Also do not take down, directly to one side flash. Powerful attack directly fell on the ground. Boom, a loud noise. Within the scope of attack, tall trees were directly hit into powder. The dust covered all the places where Yunwu was. Under the vague situation, no one could see whether Yunwu had taken the blow. Several black-robed people curiously stretched out their heads and looked into the dust, as if the sandstorm environment made them unable to see anything clearly, but there was a small light spot flying towards them. What's that? A man in black exclaimed in surprise. Isn't she dead yet? Will it attack the next? Of course, Yunwu didn't die, but there was no attack. However, the words of the black-robed man made the Shangguanli also have this idea in his heart. Did his best strike have no effect on her? How is that possible? His current strength is not what it used to be. Even if she's a genius, it's impossible. However, before they came forward to have a look, the light spot was getting closer and closer to them. When they finally saw it, Shangguan gave a sneer and let out an attack, directly attacking the colorful ball. However, at this moment, the small ball seemed to meet the fuse and burst. At that moment, Shangguanli's face suddenly changed. No. Get out of the way. The upper official gave a cold drink and retreated in a hurry. After hearing what he said, the black-robed people around him realized that it was not good and quickly stepped back, but it was too late. The hot fire element, the cold water element, the mysterious space element, and the irascible thunder element are incompatible with each other. The explosive force is better than Shangguan's fierce attack. There was a loud bang. The energy directly attacks several people in the Beast Gate, which is overwhelming. Cloud Dance as early as after throwing out that 4-color ball. Then directly by the cover of the environment left this place. Keep fighting? You're kidding. If we fight anymore, we'll bring in the blood corpses? She would rather keep her strength and continue to make waves here. At this time, nature is the best choice to slip away. As for the winning and losing of the battle, let's wait until she has solved the mess. If Shangguanli was still alive at that time, the cloud dances the corner of the mouth to stir up to put on a sneer. The foot lives the wind, quickly flies toward before of stronghold. And Hyo consciously covered her breath. Now she's going to do business. After the explosion, Shangguan covered his chest and spat out a mouthful of blood. The other black-robed people had already been lying on the ground and had lost the ability to act, but they didn't die in a breath. At the moment, I suddenly saw Shangguan spit out a mouthful of blood. I was so shocked that I couldn't even think about the pain on my body. Vice Lord, are you okay? When the voice of his subordinates came into his ears, Shangguanli was not only moved, but also ashamed. How to convince the public in the future? That cloud dance didn't know where to go for a long time, and all the words that she said before were just exciting. But he was fooled and let her run away. Shangguanli's face is very gloomy. How can he be seen by his subordinates? His eyes turned to those subordinates. Shangguan's eyes were cold. He shivered in the eyes of those black-robed people. Vice Lord, this is to hum. A group of useless things let her run away. The man in black shrunk all over, and no one dared to retort. Clinker. The next moment, Shangguan's voice is like a devil from hell, resounding in their ears. Since it's useless, it's also a waste to support you. Why don't you go down and make contributions first? Having said that, Shangguan's hand moved, and the black energy directly wrapped those black-robed people in it. Ah! After a shrill scream, the black energy retreated, and all the black-robed people lost their breath. Shangguan looked at them in disgust and turned to leave. In the stronghold, Yunwu takes aim at the blood corpse again. A team of 5 was patrolling around, and they didn't notice the clouds lurking in a tree behind them. They were still talking and laughing. Cloud Dance squints his eyes and waits for them to walk past. The ancient sword in his hand has already come out, and the black flame is burning. A group of blood corpses finally walked past, and the empty door opened behind them. Yunwu's body moves, and flies quickly behind the blood corpse. With a stroke of the black flame sword in his hand, he directly cuts the ankle of the blood corpse on the last side. The Cloud Dance keeps on walking. As soon as it is successful, it flies away and hides in the tree again. Under the cover of the leaves, it also has the black pride to help cover up the breath. Naturally, it will not be found. Blood corpse eyes a stare, the body straight fell on the ground, issued a bang sound. What's the matter? Can you trip when you walk? The blood corpse in front of him turned his head and saw the blood corpse lying on the ground. He thought he was tripped and said with a smile, "That's right. You're too careless. Get up, don't try to be lazy. I'll tell you." The second blood corpse also said with a smile, did not go to see what the meaning of the situation. Their friendship is not deep, not to mention the blood corpses are cold-blooded existence. Can form a team to say a few words is also because of the emergence of Cloud Dance. If before, they would not talk to other blood corpses except when necessary. Wait, there's something wrong with it. Finally, a blood corpse was found abnormal. No matter how they yelled here, the bloody corpse didn't respond. After a long time, I saw the exposed neck and hands turned white. Well, what's the matter? The other blood corpses didn't react, but when she heard what she said, she couldn't help looking at the blood corpses on the ground. The one who found the abnormal blood corpse quickly went forward, and several other blood corpses followed. He turned over the blood corpse on the ground. When he saw the face of the blood corpse, his eyes widened in shock. He dead. I saw that the skin on the blood corpse's face had completely changed into the skin of normal human beings, and there was no need to think about the place covered by leaves. I was afraid that the whole body had recovered. Several blood corpses looked at their ankles, and sure enough, they saw that their feet had been cut off. But not to lift his body up. I'm afraid I can't find that his feet have been broken. What a superb technique. Who on earth could have done this without their awareness? The human? She's here? A bloody corpse suddenly thought. As soon as the words came out, several blood corpses shivered one after another. The human being who is so terrible is always thought to be just a rumor. Unexpectedly, her strength is really frightening. What to do? A bloody corpse looked at his companions and said, "What else can we do?" "Get in touch," another blood corpse quickly said. Then stood up, took out a thing like fireworks, ready to put. This is specially prepared to catch the Cloud Dance. Every team has it. Once someone finds the trace of the Cloud Dance, they will directly inform other teams. Unfortunately, she just took things out. Cloud Dance's figure appears directly from behind her, body alow. The black flame big knife on the hand cuts his ankle quickly. That blood-red ankle breaks instantly. Several blood corpses looked at the sudden appearance of human beings in horror. For a moment, they didn't know what to do. The cloud danced around the corner of his mouth, and his eyes were cold. He was shuttling quickly among several people. The Guwu sword in his hand waved very quickly, and he cut off the ankles of several blood corpses in a few seconds. But in a moment, the 5-man team was destroyed. Yunwu throws out a black flame, burns the corpses, and turns his head to find the next target. A windward mouth, Schwani man with saliva looking at the hand of the roast snake, wished to eat it now, but at the thought of Yunwu's promise, he would be roasted again after he had done a good job, and then he would be greedy. Schwani man opened the leaves wrapped with snake meat, carefully stuck the whole snake meat at the end of a tree trunk, and gently hooked the corner of his mouth. It's really Cloud Dance. It's really smart. In this way, those who are tracking will come here. The man in Schwani looks up to the direction of the stronghold. He can't see anything, but he seems to know what Yunwu is doing. Next, do you want to take the opportunity to go deep? Or destroy their stronghold? There are more and more white runes in the room where the runes are placed in the mountain palace deep in the Blood Corpse clan. The Blood Corpse in charge of the guard looked at the increasing speed and ran to report to the boss. What? Still growing? What's the matter with the people sent out? What are you doing to eat? The Blood Corpse king was very angry. The king of Blood Corpse looked at the masked man sitting on one side, and now he was able to confirm that it was not the man he brought with him. So he said it was not hidden from him. I've sent a master of Lord level. Unexpectedly, the human started again after a day's silence. I'm afraid that day, she got the rune of level 2 Blood Corpse. That's why she was so bold. The Bloody Corpse who came to report said with a crying face, the number of Blood Corpse clan is not much, and it has been expanded to this point by catching a lot of foreign talents in recent years. I didn't expect that in just a few days, so much damage would be done to the human hand. If it goes on like this, won't the Blood Corpse clan be destroyed? Send me another lord. Blood Corpse King Blood Red Eyes, gnashed teeth said. At the same time, he turned his head to look at the masked man sitting on one side and asked, I wonder if Shangguan can do it? If my Blood Corpse clan is destroyed, it's not good for you, oh. The man with the mask raised his eyebrows and put on a smile at the corner of his mouth. It's not good for me, but it's not bad. Speaking of the bottom, it's none of my business. You the Blood Corpse king is impatient, but looking at the man's confident appearance, he knows that he must have a way. If you don't do it again, I'm afraid that human will really destroy the whole Blood Corpse clan. Thinking of this, the Blood Corpse bit his teeth and finally made up his mind. Don't you just want that woman? You help me. I'll get it for you. The man with the mask raised his eyebrows, looked at the king of the Blood Corpse in surprise and said, Didn't you say that she has become one of you? The Blood Corpse king snorted coldly and flashed a smug in his eyes. You look down on me too much. Since we can turn the foreigners into our own, we naturally have ways to make them recover, but the cost is a little high. So far, we haven't done so. The man in the mask looked at him and said, Okay, I believe you. But if you lie to me, you can't afford the consequences. Blood Corpse King heart a quiver, no in front of this man not easy to provoke. But after all, he also experienced the storm, then nodded and said, Okay, it's a deal. It's a deal. After that, the figure of the man just sitting on the stool disappeared. The Blood Corpses were shocked to see this scene. They knew that the speed of the men was too fast, so they didn't find it, but they didn't expect it to be so fast. The king of Blood Corpse looked at the place where the man disappeared with a gloomy face. The more powerful the man was, the more scared he was. He also knew that the future would definitely be the loss of his family. But thinking of the man who had been killing his people, the Blood Corpse King felt that he had made the right decision. Another day has passed. Yunwu is lying on a tree, hiding in his own barrier, eating the remaining roast snake meat. I have not been idle all day today. I have killed all the blood corpses in this stronghold, but none of those experts appeared. It seems that the man in Xian clothes has attracted people far enough, and I didn't cheat him. It's just that he hasn't come back for a long time. Yunwu is strange in her heart, but she doesn't take the initiative to find him. If he doesn't come, she is happy. There are many good things in the portable space, all of which are taken down from the big snake in this stronghold. I believe that before long, there will be new blood corpses, and those masters who track her will come after they find the snake meat. The only vent in the blood corpse field, which has always been a rare place, was suddenly accompanied by a few more red shadows. Lord, it stinks, said a bloody corpse, covering his nose. The roast snake meat in the air is very fragrant for human beings, and it really stinks for them. And it took so long. The Lord frowned. They followed the smell all the way. They didn't expect that it smelled so bad when they came near. But the more so, the closer they are to the target. Here it is. She must be hiding here. You should follow the taste and look for it carefully. Once you find that human figure, you don't have to rush to tell others directly. Yes, the blood corpses were ordered to leave. Although they were not comfortable with the decision, they still had to listen to the Lord's words, so they had to go around with the stench. When the blood corpses were gone, the Lord suddenly stepped back and covered his mouth and nose in a place with a smaller smell. It stinks. The Lord frowned and said, that's why he didn't look for it himself. The blood corpses he brought are different from those lower blood corpses. Each blood corpse has at least 4 skills, which is unexpected. Meet that human, even if there is no assurance of victory, but also able to escape. Of course, these are just his guesses. Standing in the same place and waiting for a long time, finally heard the movement outside. Lord! Lord! I found it. The voice of the blood corpse sounded outside. As soon as the Lord's eyes were bright, he quickly went out regardless of the smell outside. Where is it? A hiding place, the Lord can't wait to ask. Lord, we found the source of the odor, but it's just blood corpse hesitates to say. As if the words below can't let Lord know at all. The Lord was surprised and a bad premonition came out. Just what? It's just that there is no human figure in that place, only a bag of roasted snake meat. The bloody corpse stammered out what he had seen, and was very uneasy in his heart. What? The Lord's eyes were wide open, and the bad feeling in his heart was filled up. He quickly said, take me there. Yes, the blood corpses quickly took the leader over. At the intersection of the branches of a big tree, a piece of roasted snake meat was stuck in it. The color was just right and the smell was endless, but it seemed to laugh at their stupidity. The color of the Lord was gloomy and frightening. Now he fully understood. Why is it that the smell of snake meat, which was not strong at first, becomes more and more obvious later? They think it's the reason why they are getting closer to that human. But they don't want to think it's the other party who intentionally let them smell it, so as to take the opportunity to lead them here. Thinking of this, the Lord's heart trembled. No! Go back. The blood corpses behind him were also surprised. Although they didn't understand why, when they saw the Lord in such a hurry, they quickly followed, and went in the direction they came. After they left, a figure came out of the neighborhood and went directly to the snake. He took out the snake and looked at it carefully. Then he put it into his mouth and took a big bite. You don't know how to enjoy the delicious snake meat because it stinks. The mysterious man made complaints about the direction of the blood corpse, and the snake's meat is in his mouth. Well, I can't believe it's delicious. This cloud dance has this kind of craftsmanship. I made a lot of money this time. At the thought of a large snake meat Yunwu promised him, Xuanyi Man felt that his saliva seemed to flow down again. 3 or 2 will finish eating the snake meat. Xuanyi Man touched his stomach, some meaning. I'm full. Now it's time to help. I don't know what you've done. The next thing is not so easy to solve. When the moon is dark and the wind is high, killing and setting fire, the black fire beat and burned several corpses on the ground to ashes. Yunwu raised a sneer and left here. 3rd base done. The wind at night is very refreshing. Cloud dance doesn't mean to be tired at all. On the contrary, it's very comfortable to be blown by the wind, and goes directly to the 4th stronghold. In order to move in the forest, Yunwu changed into a tight black suit. At this time, shuttling through the forest like a vigorous cheetah, the action is swift and violent, like entering the uninhabited land here. The black flame broadsword waved again and again, and sent these long-dead human beings to reincarnation. In Yunwu's opinion, it's better to die as soon as possible, rather than become such a ghost, blinding the mind and becoming a bloody corpse who can only eat. In the mountain palace, there are more and more white runes, and more powerful people are sent out. Yunwu knows her situation, but she is not afraid. On the contrary, she speeds up, and more blood corpses die in her hands. Another night later, half of the 4th stronghold had been destroyed. Seeing that the sky had changed a little, the cloud danced away to find a safe place for temporary cultivation. But don't want to, just left a distance, was blocked by a shadow. Yunwu frowned and looked at the smiling man in front of him. He didn't know what to say. Do you keep your promise? Shwani man see Cloud Dance has been silent. No want to let her first mouth is impossible, so had to get close to some, licking face asked. Yunwu was stunned. He felt that this man was a wonderful flower. No matter what price he paid for persistent things, he didn't hesitate. He took out a piece of roasted snake meat from his personal space and threw it away. The man in Shwani catches it and opens it. He can't help flashing a loss on his face. It's roasted. I thought you would bake it for me now. After that, he took a look at the Cloud Dance. Cloud Dance, helpless, is preparing to say some words to send him. See Shwani man directly put away the snake meat and close some. Looking at Yunwu mysteriously, he asked, if I do you another favor, how about you bake me a set snake meat by yourself? Cloud Dance, some surprised, looked at him. What do you want to help me? Shwani man's mouth a hook, mysterious said. Of course it's good for you, and it's very good. Cloud Dance frowned at him, waiting for him to say the following, clinker. Shwani man this time mouth is tight a lot. No matter how Cloud Dance doesn't speak, he just doesn't say it. Instead he says, don't worry. No matter how you ask me, I won't let you know in advance, but it's definitely good for you. Cloud Dance is all ears. Now they send out more and more experts, and you will face more and more other strongholds. As far as I know, there are other forces in the Blood Corpse area, and they will not interfere in it. The man in Shwani's analysis is right. Yunwu doesn't say a word, but she knows what he said is right. She already knows the so-called other forces. Who else is there besides the Beast Gate? So next, you have to face all kinds of dangers. And I have a way to help you solve this danger, and you will know how to solve it. I need 3 days. In these 3 days, you'd better find a place to hide and stop going deeper. After 3 days, I promise that even if they all come, you don't have to worry, and my reward is as long as you cook a fresh snake meat for me. How about that? Cloud Dance, suspicious, looking at him, eyes full of don't believe. There is such a good thing? Shwani man saw Yunwu's look. I don't need to hurt you even for snake meat, don't I? And if you go deeper in these 3 days, they will catch up with you as soon as tomorrow. When your whereabouts are revealed, do you think you can survive? At least you'll be seriously injured. Right? Cloud Dance hesitated for a moment, finally nodded. Okay, then you go. Shwani man nodded with satisfaction and said, I'll wait for you near the 4th stronghold 3 days later. Remember that the snake meat should be fresh and the roast degree should be just right. After that, the man in Shwani left with a smile, and looking at the direction he left, it turned out to be the direction of the entrance. Is he going to leave the bloody corpse? The idea flashed in Yunwu's heart, but then he directly left it behind. Do you really want to promise him? Don't forget, his origin is too mysterious. And it's to send flowers of rattan and help you. I always feel that I shouldn't trust him too much. The voice of black pride rings out in the sea of knowledge, reminding Yunwu not to trust others easily. The Cloud dances a corner of the mouth to hook, in the eyes flash bright light. Let me listen to his words, completely believe that he is naturally impossible. But if he can really help me, it's a good thing. What do you want to do? He asked. Cloud Dance turned to leave and said softly, the soldiers are divided into 2 ways, fighting for each other. In the endless desert, scattered withered grass is distributed on the ground, which not only does not add vitality to the place, but also makes it more desolate. Mengbai gasps and sits on the ground. He grabs a dead fox in his hand. With a sharp blade in his hand, he cuts the fox's neck, and the blood flows out instantly. Mengbai frowned, put his mouth together and sucked. Sand Fox's body slowly becomes shriveled. Until there is no blood flow out, Mengbai finally let go, and will Sand Fox's body clean up, separated food and clothing, this just stopped. It's only a moment before the temperature drops as the sky gets darker and darker. Mengbai draped the processed Sand Fox skin on his body, and looked at the distance with a pair of eyes. Where you can see it, it is full of desert, and all the plants you can see are withered yellow. Half a month ago he was transported here, no one smoke, he took the only food and water on the road to find a companion, But there has been no news, even don't know where he is. Later, there was no food or water on the body, so we had to kill some warcraft, drink blood and eat meat. There is a big temperature difference between day and night in the desert, and there are few people. In the past 10 days, he has only passed through a small tribe. The tribe also lived in the desert for a long time, and had no contact with the outside world. So Mengbai could not provide any information for him. So he had to continue to find his companions in his own way. Yellow is everywhere in the desert. Under the sand on the ground, there are some swarms of warcraft from time to time. The attack power is not strong, but there are many. Mengbai once met several waves, and almost died there. Along the way, his strength was enhanced a lot because of this experience. I don't know what happened to them. If they fall in this place, how can they miss it? Mengbai looked at the sky and murmured, "It's better to be in a better place. It's better not to be chased by the beast gate. It's better to I can see you soon." In another desert, it's obvious that Mengbai's prayer didn't come true, because there are others who are very similar to him. Chi night toward the distance of an oasis, although already know may be a mirage, but still toward that direction. In this boundless desert, even a mirage is better than a confused one without a goal. Speed to the extreme, Chi Knight did not even notice that he accidentally broke into a group of warcraft territory. Inadvertently stepped on a pile of sand. The body suddenly sank down. Chi was so surprised that he turned up and flew into the air. Looking down, he saw that the place he had just stepped on had become quicksand. How could that be? Chi frowned and said, "If there is quicksand here, I'm afraid it will be found long ago. How could it not appear until she stepped on it? And the place she stepped on just now is the trachoma center of the whole quicksand." The next moment, Chi suddenly heard the sound of zigzixer, coming from this quiet desert, as if something was close to this place, which made people feel goosebumps just listening. Almost out of the instinct of the dangerous reaction, Chi entered the fighting state without hesitation. A bright red dress extremely dazzling, sharp snake sword appeared in the hands, vigilant looking around. Suddenly, just as Chi was ready, a shadow rushed directly from behind Chi, and the tail needle with cold light stabbed Chi directly. Brush. Chi's shadow flashed in the night. He waved the snake sword in his hand, and threw the needle to one side. Then he stabbed the black shadow with an impolite sword, and Pooh stabbed the shadow directly. It was not until then that Chi found out that the one who attacked him was a scorpion about the size of a 4 or 5-year-old human. The scorpion who was pierced by himself twisted his body on the ground powerlessly, and then died completely. However, Chi didn't mean to relax at all. How could she not know that scorpions in the desert are all social animals? As if to confirm her conjecture, the knowing rate voice became more and more obvious, as if it could cover all the other voices. Just listen to the sound, you can know that the number of no less than 100, or even more. Chi's eyes were cold. He knew that he was surrounded by scorpions when he heard the voice. But even if she knew, she didn't dare to move, because as long as she moved, all the scorpions would be killed. At that time, they would be at a loss. It's better to be on full alert to guard against their attack at any time. This kind of scorpion lives in the desert and hides in the sand, so it is called sand scorpion. A medium-sized warcraft, ordinary sand scorpion and 4 or 5-year-old children are the same size, but each sand scorpion family will have a sand scorpion king. The size can be comparable to adults. Moreover, compared with those scorpions who can only attack with tail needles, Sand Scorpion King is able to draw quicksand. If there is no wrong guess, I'm afraid that the quicksand was just made by the King of Sand Scorpion. Chi Knight carefully observed the surroundings. Once which direction had changed, he could feel it for the first time. Sure enough, after the knowing rate voice got closer and closer, all of a sudden it stopped. At this moment, Chi Knight is more sure that there is a King of Sand Scorpion among the sand scorpions hidden under the sand. Whoosh dash Chi out of instinct, held the snake sword directly behind him. Bang, unexpectedly, and that is suffused with the cold light of the end of the needle collision sparks. Whoosh dash. Whoosh whoosh dash one by one. The shadows kept flying out from under the sand layer and directly rushed to Chi Knight in the air. A sharp tail needle inserted in the black shadow, toward the middle of the red shadow of all thorn. Above the desert, the sand scorpions are no longer even hidden. Originally far away from the sand scorpion as if afraid of food in general, in a hurry out of the sand, fast toward Chi Night to climb, the tail of the needle raised high, as if to publicize their power. Chi Yi's face sank, and the snake sword in his hand kept dancing. A clear voice resounded through the desert. There was a black shadow falling from the air, and soon he was eaten by his own kind. But even so, there are still sand scorpions rushing up, as if endless. The blood corpse field on the top of the volcano. The cloud dance is hidden by the black pride, the breath, frowning and hiding in a corner, listening to the voice of people coming and going outside. As expected, it was the same as what the man in Xuani said. Since he left, there were more and more blood corpses in the stronghold. In fact, not long after the first wave of experts came out, there were more and more experts. Just recently, I don't know why. Suddenly, there are 10,000 beast men. They form a patrol team together with blood corpses, and protect the stronghold very well. Even Cloud Dance, it is difficult to kill a team without disturbing other blood corpses. Not only that, these teams are no longer limited to strongholds. With the participation of the 10,000 beast men, their manpower has greatly increased. Many places that could not be searched before can now be safely searched. It seems that he doesn't want to be passive anymore, so he takes the initiative instead, and is bound to kill Yunwu. Well, no wonder he said I should find a place to hide. Cloud Dance frowned and said, I'm afraid the man in Xuani had expected this situation for a long time, so he told her to wait for her in 3 days. Is it possible today? Mama, his strength is so strong, let me help you. The sound of small stink in the space spread to the ears of Cloud Dance, and even faintly want to rush out. I want to help too. You can't beat him just by going there. Red Fire Dragon's voice sounded, with a touch of firmness, no doubt. And me, I'm going too, Shiting said immediately. Lan Yu and Bai Shuer naturally want to fight. Even Jinling's breath had some fluctuations. Although he didn't say anything, Yunwu could feel his emotion, and wanted to help himself. Cloud Dance in the heart of a while moved, but did not let them out. In front of her, but Shangguanzhong. Moreover, if there is too much noise to attract more people, it will be impossible to get away. However, it would be difficult for her to face Shangguanzhong alone. A touch of dignified flashed in Yunwu's heart. At this time, Shangguanzhong suddenly said, Before you die, give full play to all your strength. I'd like to see how strong you are in the period after you escaped from me. You can rest assured that no matter how much noise you make, your enemy in this battle is only me. After hearing this, Cloud Dance gave a cold smile and said, You are too arrogant. But he was relieved. It seemed that Shangguanzhong wanted to kill her, so he gave the order ahead of time. In that case, she doesn't have to reserve any more. It won't be long before you know if you are arrogant. Come on, give full play to your strength. Let me have a good look, Shangguanzhong said with a sneer. But there was a chill in the deep eyes, as if the Cloud Dance was just a little grasshopper. No matter how to hop, it would not cause much storm. Cloud Dance sneered. In that case, I'm not polite. You all heard it. Come out, drink it. The dazzling light is shining in the dark, and the silver summoning array is flashing from the foot of Cloud Dance, rising a little bit. In the dazzling light, a summon beast appeared only in its own prototype, each with a very powerful atmosphere. There was a trace of emotion in Shangguanzhong's eyes, but he was not too surprised. On the contrary, he seemed to comment on it, and said faintly, Originally, he has reached Emperor Wu, and the hybrids of fire system have evolved into pure blood demon Huang? I Soul On would. Cloud Dance eyes slightly heavy, did not expect Shangguanzhong just a glance to see out. Suddenly, he became more alert to Shangguanzhong. The light is gone, and all the little friends who can fight here have arrived. Today, they are facing the biggest crisis in history, but neither Yunwu nor her summoners have the intention to step back. Looking at Shangguanzhong, they are full of war. Since fighting is inevitable, there is only one word: fight. The black flame sword is clenched in Yunwu's hand, and the black flame is beating restlessly, as if infected by Yunwu's mood. It was early in the morning, and the moon was sinking outside the valley, but it didn't make any difference to the people in the valley. Cloud danced without saying a word. Left hand raised, fire elements and water elements hover in the palm. Then Cloud dance palms a grip, directly the two elements together, a two-color element ball directly toward Shangguanshong throw. In the face of Shangguanshong, she didn't have to try at all, but directly used a powerful attack, because in carelessness is a complete destruction. As if there is no energy in general, even the slide is light, but the speed is very fast. Cloud Dance then clenched the black flame sword and rushed to Shangguanshong. His purple fighting spirit condensed and wrapped himself in it. Little Stink, go to the back. Lan Yu left. Everybody else, attack from the right. Cloud Dance cold voice command way. Not afraid to be heard by Shangguanshong. Directly to a few summoned beasts made simple deployment. Yes, Small Stink several people repeatedly should weigh, quickly made the action. But Shangguanshong still stood there without any reaction. He didn't raise his hand until the two-color elemental ball came near. It seemed that he was careless, and the black energy appeared in his palm. That black is purer and more powerful than Shangguanli, but it doesn't leak out at all. The powerful energy can't be felt by the summoners and Yunwu around him. That always wanted to conquer the element ball, in front of Shangguanshong, like an unreasonable child. Shangguanshong's hand moved gently, and the black energy went directly into the two-color ball. But in a moment, the ball was broken down and retransformed into two elements. It seemed as if it had been a long time. In fact, it was only a moment for Shangguanshong to do this action. It was not until he solved the elemental ball that Yunwu had just arrived at his side. Yunwu was surprised. The Shangguanshong surprised him too much. He always knew that he was powerful. However, did not expect to be able to be strong to this point. Move your fingers will be a powerful attack directly disintegrated. Cloud Dance only feels that the pressure is doubled in a moment, but even so it will not give up. Once you step back, you will die. There is still hope to live. Well, it's a trick to carve insects. The sound of Shangguanshong sounded, as if close to my ears, with a strong irony. But in an instant, Yunwu went directly to Shangguanshong's body, and the black flame sword in his hand cut the head of Shangguanshong impolitely. At the same time, the rear, the left, the right, the attacks of the summoners all came, surrounded the Shangguanshong. Shangguanshong's body did not move. He let the attack come, but before it fell on him, he was surrounded by a black energy, like a golden bell, which protected him. The black flame sword of Cloud Dance attacks and ascends. Bang on the black shield. Yunwu only felt that his attack seemed to be cut on the bronzeware, shaking his arm numb, but it had no effect, and the black flame eroded away. The flame, which had never been disadvantageous, was stuck with the black energy at this time. It was difficult to separate up and down, and no one would let anyone. Moreover, the dark flame was suppressed. Yunwu's face sank in a moment, and the attack of other summoners was the same. As if in front of the black energy shield, they are just a group of crazy children, no matter how noisy, can't lift the storm. What? Is that the only ability? Shangguanshong's sarcastic voice came out from inside, and he looked at Yunwu's eyes very jokingly. If you only have such a little ability, it's really a pity. Lan Yu, freeze him. Cloud Dance's facial expression instantly sank down. Toward the blue Yu of the other side, shout away. Good. The blue Yu immediately answered A. The blue water element gushes out directly. The black protective cover is wrapped inside, but instantly the protective cover is frozen inside. The power of ice cold constantly infiltrates into it. I want to freeze the Shangguanshong inside. The black flame sword on Cloud Dance's hand is raised, and several other summoning beasts are ready one after another. When the cold air completely frozen Shangguanshong, several people's attacks fell on the ice hockey. Just now there was no effective attack. It seemed that I met the gospel and broke the ice hockey directly. Little Stinky exclaimed excitedly. Great Mama, it works. Finally we can kill this villain. Little Stinky exclaimed excitedly. Cloud Dance eyes a joy, but then again cooled down. Little Stinky's cheers stopped abruptly. Click. The ice hockey was broken under the gap, a black light shining out, as if out of the general shell, more and more rich. Cloud dance in the heart of a surprised, quickly shout. Flash! Several summoned beasts instantly found something wrong, and quickly backed back. Boom! Just as they retreated, the ice hockey exploded completely, and the black energy was overwhelming. Cloud dance hastily urged more fighting spirit, continuously retreated a long distance, and finally stopped. I saw that after the black energy was recovered, Shangguanzhong was still standing in the same place as before, as if he had not participated in the battle just now, with a sneer on his lips. It's interesting, but it's not enough. Cloud dance smells speech. The facial expression is very ugly. Although I know Shangguanzhong's strength is strong, the attack just now won't kill him at all, but I didn't expect that there was no damage at all. She broke through Emperor Wu, but she still couldn't hurt him? Is it really necessary to gather together the four natural forces and the holy things of the witch clan to destroy him? Is there any other move? Make it out as soon as possible, or there will be no chance. Shangguanzhong said with a sneer. Don't worry, Cloud Dance coldly said, no matter how stormy the heart, but always a calm face. I'll let you see it slowly, but are you going to keep on defending? Shangguanzhong looked at Yunwu and said, Do you want to fight with me? The Cloud dances the corner of the mouth to outline, smile not smile way. If go on like this all the time, fight also have no meaning. Since you are strong, you might as well fight with us. In fact, instead of being passive at this time, it's better to explore his bottom line first. Shangguanzhong mouth hook said, Yes, have courage, then I will meet your requirements. Cloud Dance looked at him, but found that he said this sentence after still no action. Cannot help but frown. What? You want me to do my best against you? You really don't have that qualification. Shangguanzhong saw Yunwu's idea and said sarcastically, You don't have the qualification to let me use weapons. You won't have that qualification until you can tie me bare-handed with weapons. Looking at Shangguanzhong's arrogant face, it seems that it's easy to deal with her. There is no wave in Yunwu's eyes. He even thinks, it's better to be more arrogant and be able to resist the attack directly with his body. The black flame big knife raises, the Cloud dances coldly to say, Good, then see if I have qualifications. Let's talk about it. I'll attack Shangguanzhong again. The black flame was beating, and he cut off the neck of Shangguanzhong with a tricky angle, as if to deal with the blood corpses, to cut off his neck. Shangguanzhong's body moves. He no longer uses black energy to defend as before. On the contrary, when he starts, he cuts a hand knife at the back neck of the Cloud dancing with his backhand. It seems that he will attack wherever he wants Yunwu to hit him. Small stink several people also quickly come up. The huge size to deal with and Cloud dance entangled in Shangguanzhong is very inconvenient, so several people have turned into human shape, also in Shangguanzhong close combat. Who Cloud dance just feel cold behind the neck, quickly get out of the way, speed to the extreme. In the face of Shangguanzhong, who has not done his best, at least the speed is barely right. But Yunwu knew that if Shangguanzhong did his best, he was afraid that he couldn't escape the attack. He said that it was because the other side looked down on her. Aware of this, Yunwu was happy and sarcastic. If she can escape safely after today, she will redouble her efforts to cultivate. One day, she will destroy him with her own hands. Brush. Bang bang. Several people in the air war in full swing, but a moment to fight a dozen moves. With the help of Xylukaku, they can barely cope with Shangguanzhong, but the pressure always exists, making them feel like pets teased by Shangguanzhong. However, after a long time, there were some small wounds on Yunwu's body, but Shangguanzhong was not affected at all. It can't go on like this. Yunwu is aware of this. If she delays any longer, her physical strength will be exhausted. At that time, she will not be able to fight Shangguanzhong. She must find a way to get away first. There is a long way to go. She doesn't have to solve Shangguanzhong today. Thinking of this, Yunwu immediately made a decision in her heart. Shwa. The black flame broadsword on the hand uses all one's strength to cut toward the chest of Shangguanzhong. And Shangguanzhong clapped the same palm on Yunwu's chest, as if he wanted to force her to take back the attack, otherwise it would hurt her a lot. If it had been before, Yunwu would have flashed, But when she realized that the current situation must be changed, Yunwu made up her mind not to flash. Once you get out of the way, you will fall into the rhythm of Shangguanshong again. You can only follow his way. At that time, I'm afraid we will be doomed. Yunwu's eyes were filled with rage. The black flame sword in his hand was not withdrawn, but the black flame on it was more cheerful. He even took a touch of tyranny with him, and cut it hard toward Shangguanshong's chest. Shangguanshong didn't expect that Yunwu's attack suddenly changed the way. It was too late to get away. The black flame sword cut it directly. Shangguanshong quickly tried to use the black energy to resist, but it was still slow. Poof! Black flame dagger goes deep into Shangguanshong's body. But before entering, Shangguanshong changed the angle, and the distance from the heart was 1 millisecond after all. At the same time, from the back, left, right, different attacks directly attacked. All fell on Shangguanshong. Shangguanshong's eyes were cold. It seems that I can't underestimate you. At the end of the speech, the palm of the hand is directly toward Yunwu's chest. Pave, cloud dance body a meal. And then a mouthful of blood, poof chia vomit, directly backward fly out. Bang, fly out of the body, directly hit a tree behind. And then heavy toward the ground. But in the middle of it, Yunwu directly reached out and grabbed a branch, turned it over again and stood on the tree. Mama, are you okay? Little Stinky is the first one to run to Yunwu and asks anxiously. Nothing. The cloud dance suppresses the blood gas that the chest continuously turns to gush, erases the blood of the corner of the mouth, sneers at the upper official grave. It's hard to see Shangguanshong at this time. After being slashed by Yunwu, he was attacked by several other summoning beasts in succession. It wouldn't be so bad under normal circumstances, but he was arrogant all the time and didn't have any defense. He took those attacks directly with his body. Now he is in a bit of a mess. Although he is not seriously injured, he is also very uncomfortable. Shangguanshong looks at Yunwu with a gloomy face. Although he is immortal, he did not expect that Yunwu could hurt him at this time. If it goes on like this, it's hard to guarantee that she won't be bad one day. You hurt me by playing smart. Shangguanshong said coldly, looking at Yunwu. What about smart? I hurt you at last, and it's worth it, Cloud Dance rebutted impolitely. Next, there will be more opportunities to hurt you. Shangguanshong's face sank and said with a sneer. Continue to hurt me? Look at you now. It's hard just to stand, isn't it? Do you want to hurt me? Yunwu leaned weakly against the tree trunk, as if she had exhausted all her strength just standing on the branch, and the summoners around her surrounded her in the middle. I'm weak, but I still have friends. As soon as the voice of Cloud Dance falls, Little Stink has sprung up. A dazzling flash of light. Golden sacred color seems to be able to destroy all this darkness. A golden phoenix bathes in fire, and the mouth of the beast is like a piece of fire. The bright red flame sweeps towards Shangguanshong. With overwhelming power, it wants to swallow him in the sea of fire. Shangguanshong sneered. It seems that the previous losses made him have a long memory. This time, it is no longer as exaggerated as before. Black energy emerges, enveloping the body and swallowing the red flame. However, just when he thought that the red flame was just like the black flame of clouds, he suddenly found that the hot and high temperature of the red flame was not what he could resist. There was a flash of surprise in Shangguanshong's eyes. But the surprise soon subsided. Later, the black color of Shangguanshong became more intense. After Shangguanshong really exerted its strength, the red flame, which used to be overwhelming, was finally no closer. Fire is a good fire, but its strength is too poor to exert all its power, Shangguanshong coldly said, and then looked at the small stinky eyes a little more salivation. Phoenix failed, but if I catch you, it is enough to make up for the failure. Small stinky smell heard Shangguanshong's words. Immediately the beast eye a stare, proud said, Bah! You want me? You must be dreaming. Think about how you're going to get out of here first. Shangguanshong laughed angrily. How can I get away? I'm afraid that's what you should think, right? Can you get out of here alive? Little Stinky looked at him with disgust, as if looking at an idiot. Shangguanzhong read the irony from the beast's eyes, and his heart was angry. Clinker at this time, a colorful element ball directly towards the head of Shangguanzhong smashed down. The red flame made the best cover for the colorful ball. In the light of the fire, Shangguanzhong didn't find the existence of the colorful ball at all. By the time he saw the sliding ball, it was too late. It seems that the light element ball falls on the black fog around Shangguanzhong. Boom! In an instant, the 5 elements exploded directly, setting off a hurricane, with a huge impact on Shangguanzhong. Hurricane has become the biggest power of pure yang. Instant pure yang blow bigger. A raging fire touched the nearby forest will be out of control. Little Stink didn't mean to control the fire at all. Instead, he added a fire from time to time. Go Cloud Dance saw Shangguanzhong was blocked by the bright red fire, and quickly took back several summoning beasts. Then he jumped directly on Jinling's back. Let's go. With a command, Jinling flies to the distance with Yunwu. As long as she leaves here, she will have a way behind him. Shangguanzhong was hit by the 5-color element ball, and his whole body was wrapped by the hot pure yang. Although he temporarily mobilized the black energy to resist, he was injured because he was in a hurry and didn't prepare. The black shield was directly broken almost at the moment of appearance. Poo 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 poo. Shangguanzhong fell heavily from the sky, and the black energy around him wrapped him tightly, so that pure yang could not hurt him. But the scorching heat seemed to burn his soul, which was very uncomfortable. Cloud Dance. Shangguanzhong stood up from the ground, gnashing his teeth and spitting out 2 words. There was a surge of qi and blood in the chest. Shangguanzhong knew that he was not seriously injured, but he didn't expect that the leader of the 10,000 Beast sect would be hurt by a younger generation, and she ran away again. If he had not taken it lightly, how could he have come to this point? The lion fought the rabbit with all his strength, but he gave up his defense because of a few words of Yunwu. He is too proud of this. Shangguanzhong's eyes are cold. This Cloud Dance must be killed. The blazing fire is like a lighthouse on the sea, reflecting the sky red in the dark blood corpse field all day long. When Shangguanzhong was separated from the sea of fire, there was no cloud dancing. Up to this time, none of the subordinates who got his orders really came. Shangguanzhong's face was deeper, but he forgot that it was he who didn't let those people interfere. When I arrived at the place where my people gathered, I saw many beast men and blood corpses gathered together, and looked curiously towards the fire. Seeing Shangguanzhong appear, people's eyes can't help showing a look of surprise. There is no other reason just because Shangguanzhong is in a mess at this time. In the heart of the Beast Gate, I have never seen Shangguanzhong in such a mess. I can't help but wonder if it is the human who has suffered a loss. Feeling the sight of his subordinates, Shangguanzhong didn't give any more gas. He roared, "Go and search for me. Search all over the blood corpse field, and get that human back to me." All the people of the Beast Gate trembled and said, "Yes." In the blood corpse ground, the atmosphere suddenly became tense. Deep in the forest, pure yang is constantly burning. Although there is enough moisture in the forest, it is the forest after all. Under the fire, it soon spreads to the territory of blood corpse. Shangguanzhong looked coldly at the more and more fierce fire, hesitated for a moment, and finally put out the fire. That you're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.